Good morning, everybody. How many people have joined? How many people have joined? Vanisha, Akshay, Siddharth, Smriti, Gopal, Tanisha. All of you open your camera, please. All of you open your camera.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
People are
morning, sir.
slowly joining. All of you open your camera, please. What is the batch size? How many people, how many students are you in the batch?
Sir, around 35, I guess.
Around 35. So only 13 have joined by now. So one third almost. And generally, how many people are joining on a daily basis?
Sir, 26 or 27.
Some people are still joining. So all of you open your camera. Rajiv, Vanisha, Ashish, Jitesh, Smriti, Kishan. All of you open your camera. People are still joining. So all of you open your camera. 19 people have joined, 18 people have joined by now. 19. Smriti, Kishan, Vaibhav, please open your camera. Yuvraj, Vineet, Farhan, Mahak, all of you open your camera. All of you, please open your camera. Vanisha, Vineet, Yuvraj, Vaibhav, you have yet not opened your camera, in spite of telling so many times. All of you open your camera. All of you. If you have not opened your camera, it will be presumed you have just logged in and you are not present there. And if there is some genuine reason, then please text to Shashi or Jyotsna. Otherwise, when you're here, everybody has to open the camera. Rajiv, your camera is off. Please open your camera. Smriti, Vineet, you have yet not opened your camera. Smriti, Vineet, are you there? Smriti, Vineet, are you there? Vanisha, Vanisha, Smriti, Rajiv, you people are not opening your camera in spite of telling so many times. Are you there or not? Please open. Don't keep on closing it off. It's already more than 7 minutes. In fact, Smriti, are you there? Vanisha, are you there? Smriti, are you there? Vanisha, are you there? Prince, all of you, all three of you have closed your camera. Who's from ICFP?
Sir Jyotsna this side. Good morning.
Josna, good morning. Morning. How are you, Josna?
Better, sir.
No, from your voice, it's clear that you are not well. Chalo, ठीक है. So take rest, Josna.
Yes. Prince, I think Prince has joined with two devices. Prince, why you have joined with two devices?
Yes, sir.
Smriti, you have also joined by three devices and you're not being seen. So please, yeah, ठीक है, good. Ashish, Smriti, you have one you closed. ठीक है, thank you. Ashish, open your camera. Ashish, yeah. Chalo, so we'll start now. And please let me make it very clear. Login it does not guarantee that you are present there until unless your camera is not on. It will be presumed you are just logged in and you are not sitting before the laptop. And attending is important. Why? I'll tell you. Farhan, your camera is off. Please open your camera. Good. Chalo. Chalo, so we'll start now. So brief introduction about me. My name is Prakash Ranjan Sinha and I have been with this mutual fund industry since 1989. 35 years from now. Okay? And 35 years has been a big journey if you look from the industry itself. The reason is very simple. When this industry started, when I joined in 1989, there was only one mutual fund, AMC. That was UTI, where I started my career. And then subsequently, so many AMCs, so many things have happened. And today we are seeing more than 45 AMCs. And earlier, even the size of the funds were also very, very small. Now today you are having 30,000, 40,000 crore fund. Today SBI mutual fund has crossed 10 lakh crore AU. I mean, you can just imagine. There was a time even the industry was not even having 50,000 crore AUM. Now today 10 lakh crore. So I mean, you can just think how many times it has grown. So what does growth mean? When I'm saying you about the industry has grown like anything, what does it mean to you people? Why anything grows? Tell me, let me ask you a different way. Why anything grows? Because of what?
Demand.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Demand. I mean, today all of us know mobile phone is growing like anything because there is more and more demand. Same thing about apps. So since you people are using all those things, you know it better. So yes, demand is growing. But why demand is growing?
People are more aware about it.
Yes, Farhan, people are more aware, but aware of what?
Technology.
No, I'm talking about mutual fund. वो खत्म होगी. Mobile phone वाली कहानी
But
खत्म.
the income of people have increased, so they have realized that they need to put that income, that money somewhere, except for their savings account.
So they
Because
have realized that
yeah, Mark, go ahead.
investing, saving is also saving and investment are a part of life, and we have to do it.
Absolutely right. All of you have given correct answer. So why demand is growing? Because now people, as more and more education is happening, more and awareness is happening. Now people have realized also you need to save money, you need to invest money. And when you talk about investment, you've got n number of avenues. But in my view, you can judge it as we are going to go ahead. There is no other better product than mutual fund. And please mark my line. My view is there is no other better product than mutual fund. Now, we are going to have this 30-hour session in 10 days, 3 hours each. You people, from your own conviction, your own wisdom, your own judgment, just evaluate my sentence. Is there any other better product than mutual fund? Is it clear? Now, since all of you have said demand is increasing, that's why there is growth. And in my view, mutual fund is the best industry, best way to invest, sorry. So why we are having this course? Why we are having this training?
So to
Correct?
understand
Already
the
I've given you the
mutual
answer.
fund for better
Roughly I've given
portfolio
you the answer.
management.
Yeah, Narendra.
So for to understand the mutual fund thoroughly to do a better portfolio management,
वो तो है ही,
understanding it.
वो तो है ही. Yes, that's there. But since all of you are going to get employed in Bajaj Capital, and Bajaj Capital being one of the oldest, perhaps I would say the oldest, because Bajaj Capital also started in 1964, so it's almost 60 years old company. So it is the oldest financial service company in India. And Bajaj Capital is selling a lot of financial products, investment products, so many products they are selling it. But as we were talking about, the demand for this product has been growing because more and more people are realizing that the best way to invest is through mutual fund. Now, since all of you are going to be employed with Bajaj Capital, it becomes mandatory for each one of you to know about mutual fund because you have to sell. Is it clear? Because this will
Yes,
be
sir.
top of the list in the basket of all the products what you are going to sell it. Because of the very simple reason people want it. Demand is growing. And that's why you need to know everything about this. That's first part. The second part is all of you have to mandatorily clear the exam, which is mutual fund, NISM mutual fund distributor 5A exam. Is it clear? It's not a choice. Let me tell you very frankly, it's not a choice. Some of you might be thinking, okay, yaar, maybe we can read it. And then as we go ahead, no. Before you are going to join Bajaj Capital, please, I'm making it very clear to each one of you. Please listen very carefully. Before you are going to join, that means your first day of your job, you have to clear this exam. Is it clear? It's mandatory. It's not a choice. You have to clear it. Because if somebody is thinking, okay, I'll clear it as and when I want, no, sorry. Because the first day when you are going to go to join Bajaj Capital, they are going to ask you whether you are cleared this exam or not. So when I've said this, it becomes very, very important for each one of you to attend the class regularly. Is it clear? Please attend. And when I'm saying attending, that means just not logging. I mean, you be also present there. Be active. Keep on interacting. Keep on asking questions wherever you have not understood anything. Wherever you feel you have not understood. Even previous also chapters, let's say, maybe you're not able to ask at that point of time, maybe after 2 days or 3 days. If you feel ki, I mean, this was something with respect to second chapter or something, you can ask any question, any part you can ask. Any thought, anything which comes to your mind, please keep on asking. Because the best way to learn is always to clear all your doubts. Okay? So attend regularly, be active, keep on interacting, keep asking questions. Why? As I told you, because you have to clear the exam, that's mandatory. And the other thing is, this is the most sought after product among Indian masses, I would say, and it's growing very rapidly also. So, before I start, anybody has got any other question?
Sir,
No
do I have
question?
we have to clear the exam before we join the internship?
Haan, Akshay.
So we gotta clear the exam before we join the internship or after the internship? Like,
No. I would tell you the last day when you are going to finish this course, no, I would tell you when you should be writing the exam. Ideally, That's so that all of you score well also. I'll tell you last year. But I think before starting the job, I think internship is a part of job. Is it clear, Akshay? Internship is a part of job.
Yes, sir.
So you have to clear before that.
Excuse
Okay?
me, sir.
Yeah.
Before after the finishing of these 2 months training, then we are going to start going to the exam, right? Because as you said,
No,
internship is
I
job.
think your training when it's going to finish.
Because it's a 2 month training, right? Then it's going to be
That's
4
what I'm
months.
saying. That's right. So after that, so today we are in July. So maybe somewhere in latter part of the September, July, August, maybe you will get employed. Yeah, no?
Okay. And the
Latter
exam
part of
is
the September, somewhere.
maybe. So the exam is going to be held offline, right?
Examination के बारे में I'll tell you. Don't worry about path. But what I'm trying to say is, before you start your job, and internship is a part of job.
Yes, sir.
You have to clear it. So let's say just to give you an example. So let's say if you are joining the date is 28th of September. Just to give you an example. By that time you should clear it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You have got enough time. Don't worry about that. So this is a brief introduction about me. I started my career 35 years back. I was also I was started with UTI and then I stayed there for quite a long time. I was a part of mutual fund industry AMC for first 17, 18 years. Then I moved out. I joined Bajaj Capital. I was heading Bajaj Capital as a president, alternate channel. So I was a part of Bajaj Capital also from 2005 to 2008. Then I moved to some other organization and now I'm totally in the trade. I've written a book called Learn to Invest by Managing Risk. So the emphasis is about managing risk. Is it clear? And as we are going to go ahead with this training, you will realize why I have emphasized that. I'm also having my own YouTube channel, Nurture India Investors Jagrukta Abhiyan. I mean, if you go there, it's all about financial literacy. So many of the things, small videos I've made it. Maybe you people can visit and this can help you a good insight about the finance investment, particularly mutual fund. Okay, so now we'll start and I want all of you to participate. Please keep your camera on. And I said very clearly that if somebody is keeping his or her camera off, it will be presumed you have just logged in and you are not physically present there. Yes, if there is some genuine technical reason, maybe you're something to do with the IT part, then you can WhatsApp to Jyotsna, who is the course coordinator, or maybe due to some personal reason, maybe somebody is not well or somebody is out for some very important work, then you can, I mean, of course, but that can happen once or twice. Chalo, so we are going to start. So this is the first chapter. Let me ask you one question. Is investment important? A very basic question.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
sir.
Why it is important?
For defeat the inflation.
To keep you financially secured.
Yes, absolutely right.
Compounding value of money. मतलब money
जी.
का जो amount है वो double हो जाता है with time.
डबल मत बोलो, डबल से भी ज्यादा होता है मार्क.
Yes, sir.
डबल से भी ज्यादा होता है. So
Grow
the
the
right
money.
word is yes, growth of money. Absolutely right. Yes, absolutely. So all of you have given the correct answer. So investment is important, right? Because the reasons you have given. Now let me ask you: is important must for everybody? Just like NISM 5, clearing the NISM 5A exam is must for each one of you. Is important? Is investment must for everybody? Must. I'm using the word must. Choice nahi, must.
It should be must, but I think it's according to risk profile, what they bear.
That's okay. When you're saying risk profile, it
Right.
means where I want to invest, how I want to invest. That's a separate thing. But my question is the investment. It's must for everybody.
Then it's must for only those who are at least who have any finance.
ये select तो करो.
Kind of
So नहीं पार्थ एक मिनट पार्थ आपके हिसाब से पार्थ you are saying not must for everybody.
Well, sir.
So in your view, it's not must for everybody, maybe for some.
So those who have knowledge about that, that is actually
Knowledge.
very important to be financially secure.
चलो चलो तो देखो that's why I want interactive. Very good part. Now let me ask you one question. Is money important for everybody or must for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Having money.
Having money.
Like, is having money must and important for everybody? Give me the answer, yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if money is important and must for everybody, investment is what? Money management.
Yes, sir.
So where does this risk profile or knowledge comes? It is must for everybody. Is it clear, Parth?
Yes, sir.
Agar money is important for everybody, then automatically investment also becomes important for everybody or must for everybody. Because investment is nothing but money man. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? So it is must for everybody. Why I'm telling you this thing? Tomorrow, when you are going to meet any of your client, many people do not even know why they are investing, for what they are investing. They always think, okay, boss, an XYZ product has come. Somebody is coming. Parth, Narendra, Adarsh, Mahak is coming, telling me to put money in that product. Maybe they are gaining. So you have to make it very clear to the client. No, sir. We are here to make sure that you gain. Is it clear? Because they will feel that way. So you have to make them make it very clear. No, sir. We are here to help you to gain. So that's why we are here. Chali. So we are going to talk about this thing. So as we have said, why we invest? Because we have got certain financial goal. And if when I talk about financial goal, that means it is connected with money. We are born consumer. We are lifelong consumer. Whether we live till 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, whatever age we live, there is not a single second in our life when we are not consuming anything. Is there any single second in our life when we are not consuming anything? Is there any single second in our life? Give me the answer. है कोई second? Somebody lives till 85, 90. Is there a single second in his life or her life when he is not a consumer? There is not a single second. Let me tell you. At this point of time, when we are discussing also, talking, how many things we are consuming? You can just see.
Not brand.
बात जोर से बोलिए.
The net, sir. The internet we are consuming right now.
So many things, not internet. बात. सवेरे सवेरे शैम्पू मारा होगा आपने. अरे बड़े अच्छे टी शर्ट पहन के बैठे हो. अरे Narendra is having specs on his face. अरे परफ्यूम मारे होगे. If I start listing down, I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 100. I don't know. The clarity should be there. That's why I said, when somebody is going to tell, boss, you have come because XYZ has. No, you tell him, sir, we have come here because we want you to gain. That's all. Because money is important for us. Why money is important for us? Because everything, whatever we buy, we consume, is purchased from money only. Nothing is coming free. Maybe your parents are paying for you, but ultimately they are also paying, na? They are paying, na? Somebody is paying, na? So nothing is coming free. So that's why I said investment is all about money management. And money is most important thing in our life. We are throughout consumer. We have got a lot of financial goals. When at the moment I talk financial goal means for what we are investing, some reason. Because for everything we require money. Maybe higher education of children. In marriage also we spend money. For holidaying we spend money. For buying house we spend money. आप कहीं पे भी देख लो. If you want to go for a vacation, money. Nothing happens without money. Post-retirement, once you have retired, after that also maybe you are going to live for 20 years, 30 years, you require money. That means money is very, very important thing for us. For so many financial goals are there. And for each goal, we require money. But the important thing is how much money I'll be requiring it. Because maybe I'll require after 1 month, maybe after 1 year, maybe after 10 years. Is it or not? So again, how much money I'll be requiring it and by when? So when we talk about financial goal, it has got three things. The objective, which is the reason for investing, how much money you will be requiring at that point of time, and the time. These three things are very, very important for any financial goal. So investment is all about planning to meet the various financial goals. So many financial goals are there. Because let's say, for example, children education. Today, all of us know it, if somebody wants to go for a higher studies to USA or abroad, how much money is required? Huge amount of money. But can the parents afford from their monthly salary? No. That means you have to accumulate that much money over a period of time. And then you spend it that money for paying fee or something like that. Somebody wants to buy a house or car. So you require money for all these things. So financial goal is all about the need of money that cannot be fulfilled through the inflow at that point of time, which is the monthly salary or monthly income. So the reason for investment is very clear. Now, when we talk about goal setting, financial goal setting, there are certain goals which are planned. For example, higher education of children. I mean, it's planned. Marriage, even retirement planning, buying a house, all these things are planned. There are certain things which are desirable. We want to have it. Let's say somebody wants to have a car. You can have a car worth 5 lakh also. You can have a car worth 25 lakh also. Is it or not? Somebody wants to buy a flat, maybe 30, 40 lakh also, maybe 3, 4 crore also. So again, I mean, what you want, again, that can vary also with the amount. Some unplanned. For example, what can be unplanned? Let me tell you, ask you. Some of the events in life. COVID. Did anybody plan for COVID? Nobody had planned for COVID. Suddenly it came. But what happened after that? Many people lost their job. Many of the people who were having business, that was totally shut down for some months. Now think about those people. If they had no money, how they would have survived? You have to invest money because you require money. Irrespective of whatever the situation may be, you require money for livelihood. And there are certain expenses which everybody wants. So there are a lot of events in our life, and for everything you require money. Now, when we talk about events in life, there are so many financial goals or events. Are all financial goal or events equally important? All are equally important? Anybody? Buying a car and children higher education. Which one is, both are equally important?
No, no.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
You know it very obviously about that. So it's not that key. Yes, good, you should have a car. But again, what is more important? So you need to prioritize the goal also. Because within goals also, some might be more important and some other might be lesser important. I'm not saying no important, but lesser or more it could be there. So again, you have to prioritize. And of course, when you want money. So let's say in future, if you want money after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and today's cost is, let's say, 5 lakh, will it be the same at that point of time?
No, sir.
It will be less or more than what it is today.
That depends actually.
नहीं है. For example, जैसे आपने बोला that depends मतलब.
जैसे आपने
Let's-
कार की कॉस्ट बोली ना, तो कार की
हाँ.
कॉस्ट विल इंक्रीज विद टाइम बेसिकली.
Yes, so that means.
but
Yeah, go ahead.
in terms of other goods, or it depends on market basically. That's my point.
Yes, you're right, but generally, is the cost going up or down in long term?
Yes.
Sir, it's a liability.
नहीं, अरे liability assets की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं वो अलग चीज है.
Sir,
I'm
it
saying
will
the
go up,
cost is increasing or decreasing.
Increasing.
It is
increasing
increasing only, yeah. Which we
inflation.
call it inflation. All of us know it. What is inflation? The same thing which is costing, let's say, 100 rupees today, maybe after 5 years it will be 120 or 150. 10 years from now it will be further more. So we know it, everything. That means you have a goal in mind today, and there is a cost. But let's say if I want to meet that goal 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, it will be more. So when we talk about the amount in future, it has to be inflation adjusted, not what is today. Now we are talking about the goals. As I told you, some are very critically important. You must have. Some are dreams, good to have. Now we need to differentiate between the three. And of course, which is critically important, must to have. That's very, very important. Dreams, good to have. Yes, fine. If you can have it, fine. Now today, let me tell you, we are giving you a very practical insight. The problem today is maybe that was not so much when this information age was not there. Particularly today, we are living in a social media age. What is happening? Every now and then you are seeing what the celebrities are doing, particularly film stars, cricketers. और फिर क्या होता है नरेंद्र? इच्छा जाग जाती है. I should be also having a destination wedding somewhere in Italy. Or I mean, anyway,
FOMO.
dreams, yes. Of course, I mean, there's nothing wrong to have a dream. Yes, you should have a dream. But the question is fulfilling the dream also. Is it or not? So clarity should be there, boss. What is critically important for me? What is dream good to have? I am not saying that these things should not have, but the first column is most important. You agree or disagree?
Agree,
मोबाइल
sir.
फोन आया है, होना चाहिए, जरूरी है. बट एप्पल का नया ब्रांड लॉन्च हुआ है कॉस्टिंग सम लैक्स, वही जरूरी है? You know the answer. I don't need to say. Just because a film star is advertising, because that's why I said today we are living in an age where we are getting influenced, maybe through social media, through TV advertisement. I mean, all those things are there, and that's where role of you people will come, because investment is all about money management. Time and again, I'm repeating it. Investment is all about money management, because people do have got limited money. Everybody is earning, getting some limited salary only, no? Is it or not? I'm talking for the most of the people. But again, expenditure will all depend upon how you prioritize it. So you need to understand all those things. Immediate term, when you're going to execute it, immediate, near term, maybe within few months, 2 years, medium term, maybe few years, 3 to 5 years, long term, more than 5 years. Now, the moment I said critically important, that's where I'm going to focus on. How I'm going to distinguish here what is important, what is not important. Yeah, what is important and what is less important. How I'm going to distinguish. I should have some ways to look at it. No? Now today everything looks important. How I'm going to distinguish it. So let's look at it from this matrix. Important, not important. Urgent, not urgent. So how you're going to distinguish between important and not important? Now let me give you an example. All of you must have got admitted in some college. Writing the exam is important or not important? Give me the answer.
Important.
Important.
It's absolutely important. So today we are having, what is the date? Today?
15th.
15th, huh? क्या है?
15th.
15th of July. Please, all of you, listen to me. So assume that you are in a college, and on the notice board there is a notice board कि by 31st of July, all of you have to fill up the examination form with the examination fee. 31st July. Now, filling the examination form with the examination fee is important. It's very simple, because if you are not going to fill it with the examination fee, you will not be allowed to sit in the examination, and you will lose a year. Is it urgent today to fill the form with examination form fee? Is it urgent today?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No, because you have got still 15 days left. Now let's do fast forward. We are on the 31st of July. 31st of July. Now on that day, is it urgent?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
you tell me how you have distinguished between important, not important, urgent, not urgent. Why I'm telling you? First thing, many people are not able to distinguish between important and not important. And many people, in fact, confuse with important with urgent also. I can give you one example. Last day of discount sale, 20% off. What happens? Last day of discount sale, 20% off.
Rush.
नहीं, but मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि हम important not important में confuse कर जाते हैं. If you buy 2 shirts, you will get a third shirt free. Generally, you see all this advertisement when you go to the malls and all those things. These are all marketing strategies. But what happens? We get confused. What is important? What is urgent? So urgent, not urgent, it's very clear. Today is last day. Abhi, no time left. Not urgent? Yes, time is left. Just like I gave you the example about examination fee. So यहाँ तो time के हिसाब से everything is clear. But what about important, not important? How you are going to distinguish it? Quickly.
Sir, difference between need and want.
नहीं नहीं वो तो ठीक है. But Narendra, I am giving you example. A mobile phone has been launched, and advertisement is first day 10% discount. What happens? 15% discount. What happens? What happens? You tell me. Even if it is not a must for me, I buy it because 15% discount है. कल को सस्ता नहीं मिलेगा. So how I'm going to distinguish it? That's why I said, no, we are not able to differentiate. I should have some yardstick now for judging it. You will come ये आपके दोस्त ने बोल दिया नरेंद्र is या let's say Farhan is preparing for exam. दोस्त ने बोल दिया आ जाओ शाम को पार्टी पे. नहीं आओगे तो यार बात नहीं करूंगा. Farhan got confused. Now you decide what is important, what is not important. Is it clear? Look, why I'm telling you, in our day-to-day life, yes, a lot of such situation will happen where we are not able to distinguish between what is important, what is not important. And at times we end up taking a wrong decision also. So here we have to stick to the investment. So that's why we want to focus on the investment. So what should be the one question? I will pose a question to myself. Please, all of you pay attention. I will pose a question to myself. If I don't do this, if I don't have this, is it going to harm me? And if the answer is yes, it's going to harm you, then it is important. If the answer is no, it's not going to harm you, there is no loss which is going to happen. It's not important. Is it clear? फरहान, एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी करनी है, अगले दिन दोस्त से मिलके बोल देना सॉरी यार, दोस्ती है ना, मान जाएगा. बट इफ यू स्किप एंड गो टू अपीज हिम, फिर तो आपको पता है एग्जामिनेशन में क्या होगा अगले दिन. Why I'm telling you all this is because in our day-to-day life, yes, lot of such situation happens. As I told you, na, discount sale, 20% discount. And what happens? We rush and we overspend. And then what happens? Such client will tell you, boss, मेरे पास पैसा ही नहीं है इन्वेस्ट करने को. अरे कैसे होगा इन्वेस्ट करने को पैसा? Because you have not prioritized your expenditure. Because again, I'm going to go back. Just look at it. You're not clear what is dreams, what goods to have, and what is critically important. And many times, maybe rather than focusing on what is critically important, we go for dreams and good to have. I'm not saying these are, one should not be going for it, but again, the first column is more important. And how to decide about that? This is the answer. Now, if it is important and it is urgent, that means no time left. We have to go for it. Is it or not? Our last day, the fee of 10 lakh rupee has to be submitted. College is not giving me any extension. What can happen? I have to borrow money somewhere. I have to do it. Otherwise, what will happen? The child is not going to get admitted to that college. Maybe he's going to lose a year. Or maybe he has to go for some other college. I mean, there's no choice. That's why he said important को कैसे मुझे distinguish करना है. If I don't have this, if I don't do this, is it going to harm me? Not important, urgent. It's not going to harm me, यार. Do it with cash flows alone. अरे डिस्काउंट सेल आता रहेगा यार हर दूसरे महीने. In India, how many discount sale comes? कभी क्रिसमस सेल, कभी विंटर सेल, कभी समर सेल, कभी मॉनसून सेल. 4 तो आपके मौसम ही हो गए. फिर उसके बाद कितने फेस्टिवल्स हैं? आप बताओ ना. Every second, third month you will find a discount sale. Does it happen or not?
Yes, sir.
So do it ना. ऐसा थोड़ी है कि I mean this is the last chance. Generally you will go ना, they will say अरे नहीं बस आज ही last day है, as if, and these are all marketing strategies in fact. So it can be deferred. I mean it's not that कि, I mean because it is not important here. Do it if it's cash flows allow. Maybe later on. If it is not important, not urgent, ignore it. I mean because it is important ही नहीं है. But which part I have made it bold? Which part I have made it bold and underlined it? Important and not urgent. Child is 2 years of age. He is going to get to higher education once he attains 18 years age. That means 16 years from now. It is not urgent, but it is important. Plan and start now investing. Is it clear? All of you are
Yes.
very young, maybe 22, 23 years of age. Are you going to become 60 someday or not?
Yes.
Or all of you will be evergreen always? Give me the answer. Adarsh?
Yes, sir.
नहीं ये सर क्या मैंने पूछा क्या ये बताइए आप.
That we'll be in our 60s and we need to do
So,
investments from downwards.
so, yes, retirement looks maybe 40 years from now or
Hmm.
38 years from now, but it is important. So I have to plan and start today investing. Is it clear? So investment is all about this matrix.
Start early.
Plan and start now for future result. Any question by anybody? Anybody wants to ask any question? Because this is very, very important. Because when you go to your client, you have to tell him, sir. Don't leave it at this stage. Important and urgent. Because important तो है ही आपका ये तो. But better plan it much in advance. Any question by anybody? Nobody has got any question? Nobody? All of you open your camera. Some people have not opened their camera. Please. Sure. So this was all about how to go about it with the time management metrics. Just to give you an example, let's say Shalini wants to go for a higher education. Today's cost is 50 lakh. The education she wants after 10 years, assuming that the cost of education increases by 8%. So 10 years from now, what is costing today 50 lakh will not be same. It will be 1 crore 7 lakh 94,625. And you are going to calculate future value. All of you have got this personal financial management. If PFM हो गया आप लोग का? Yeah, yet to be done.
Yet to be done, sir.
अच्छा ठीक है. So future value they will tell you how to calculate it. This is how it is calculated. This is what I am saying. Plan today, invest today, so that you have 1 crore 7 lakh 94,625, which you will be using for paying the fee for the college. Saving or investment, are they same or different? Are they same or different?
Different.
Different.
So
Achha, let me
sound-
ask you. In India, most of the people are saving or investing.
Saving.
saving.
But why they are doing so?
To remain on the safer side.
If investment
Yeah.
is important, investment is must, then why they are saving?
Sir, either less knowledge or less income.
Fear of losing their money.
अभी तो आप लोग की ट्रेनिंग
to-
हो रही है ना,
just-
क्योंकि नॉलेज
just to place-
आपको उनका ठीक करना है ना. That will be your job to educate them. But why most people are going for saving? Like I'll give you an example: bank FD, for example, PPF, LSC, post office MIS, post office time deposit, and most people go for that only. But why? The question is why?
So just to play safe, and as someone just replied that.
Oh,
to make their-
who has given this answer? Parth, you're giving the answer?
Yeah. So as someone said that
Safe,
fear of
safe.
fear of losing money.
That means
so just to be
safety of
safe.
money.
Yeah.
Is it right,
Yeah.
Parth?
Yes, sir.
So what does safety of money means for you? Let's say you have invested 1 lakh.
Hmm.
एक minute. Just hold on. I'm just posing you a question. Give me the answer. You have invested 1 lakh, which you require after 10 years. So what does safety of money means to you? Please, all of you pay attention, and also all of you interact also.
What safety of money means to me? The money. matlab,
Like, you have rightly pointed out, Parth, that why most of the people are going for the saving investments. Saving instruments, I would rather say, not investment. Because safety is on their head. Yes, absolutely right.
They
But the question is, what do they mean by safety?
don't know how to
So I'll
properly
pose
manage.
one question to all of you. I'll pose one question to all of you. Please, all of you, give me a answer. So let's say I take money from Yash. Yash, are you willing to give me money? Yash, अब सोच रहा है. चलो, anyway. Let's say I have taken 1 lakh rupee from Yash, and I told him, Yash, I'm going to return you after 10 years. और 10 साल बाद मैंने यश को वही 1 लाख रुपया आज दिया. 10 साल बाद यश को आई गिव हिम 1 lakh. Happy, Yash?
No, sir.
Why you are not happy? I have returned your money 1 lakh, boss. You should be happy, na? So why you are unhappy?
So because the value of 1 lakh after 10 years would be much more.
Yes. जब आपको ये समझ में आ गया, then why you are not applying the same principle in investment? देखो, that's where we need a financial education in our country. The moment you say somebody, "Ki boss, give me 1 lakh, after a year, I'm going to give you back 1 lakh." So I took 1 lakh, I gave you back 1 lakh. So safety is there, na? But then what Yash said? No, it is not the same. Why it is not the same? Because Yash, इसी को elaborate करो. You wanted more.
So because the inflation, because every year inflation jumps up to 6%, 6 to 7%.
So yes, your answer is no, this is not correct. I want more. Of course, calculation आप yes inflation के हिसाब से जो भी आप कर लो. Let's say it becomes 1,35,000. For example, just so Yash will say, I want not 1 lakh, but 1,35,000, assuming let's say 6-7%, whatever the inflation may be. And the reason is very clear because I have given you 1 lakh, which I could have consumed. Please, all of you pay attention. This is how you are going to guide the client. For those who are misguided or maybe who are not so financially literate, I could have consumed this 1 lakh today, but I didn't consume it. I gave it to you. When you gave me money, then if I'm going to consume that money, then the purchasing power of that 1 lakh is not the same. It is now 1,35,000. So I want that money. That means the focus was on the purchasing power. Is it clear? तो भैया इन्वेस्टमेंट में अभी मैंने आपको क्या बोला था थोड़ी देर पहले? We are born consumer, we are lifelong consumer. Investment is all about money management. So when investment is all money management, and when we know all these things, as we have talked, so when I require money, at whatever point of time, safety should mean it should protect the inflation. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
पहली चीज तो ये हो गया बड़ा clear. Otherwise, anything less than that, you've not gained, but you have lost. The other thing is also very, very equally important. Please, all of you pay attention. I could have consumed, but I sacrificed that consumption. Should I be paid for that sacrifice or not?
Yes.
I gave it to somebody. Let's say I put it money in a bank deposit, FD, and somebody else has used this money and gained. I should be compensated for that or not? That means I should be compensated for the opportunity lost. Because I could have consumed somebody else's money. I should be also be compensated for the risk I'm taking. Is it clear? So if you start looking at all these things, that means it's not just inflation. I should be having more than that. So investment is all about what? Investment is all about having a desired amount of money when you require in order to meet your financial goal. Is it clear? So safety is very important, of course. But the problem is many people just look safety from a very, very wrong perspective. One, of course, the capital, which is not correct. The second one is, of course, capital plus impact of inflation, which is correct. But you need to have much more than that. Now, if I want more money, will it come free? Because I use the word risk, if you remember. I've taken a risk. Now, the moment risk comes, that means I should be compensated for the risk. And in order to get compensated for the risk, whatever return I want, there is a trade-off. And that's why many people are not ready to take that risk. So what does risk mean to all of you? Now let us talk about risk. What does risk? Let's say if you go and say, all of you know what is equity? Is equity risky?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Why it is
sir.
risky?
Fluctuating too much.
Yes, fluctuating, but why it is risky? Yes, you're right. Fluctuation is the thing. I invested 1 lakh. What do I don't want? Less than 1 lakh. That's for sure. I want growth only. But I don't know how much I'm going to get it because it's fluctuating. But if I want a more return, then I should be taking risk or not.
Sir,
Yes,
risk
Risk
also.
and return, please all of you pay attention. Risk and return goes hand in hand. If I don't want to take any risk, then of course I'll be happy with the lesser return. And that's why most people go for bank FD. Safest. PPF, NSC, all those things are there. Because they don't want to take risk. But how much return they are getting? How much return they are getting? Single digit or double digit?
single digit.
So let's say if I want a double digit, then
Then you'll have
12%,
to put more
15%,
risk
20%.
in investments.
No, if I want more return, more growth of money, then what I need to do?
Investment.
Invest in
No,
equity.
investment तो हो ही गया, but I have to take risk.
In equity.
In
हाँ, वो
equity.
अभी बाद में आएंगे. We are not going to come into that, but we have to take risk. Because I'm not going to get a higher return without taking a risk. The moment I say risk, मतलब क्या होता है? Loss? What does risk mean? Is
Higher
investment
possibility
all about thing?
of losses.
Investment, the moment I say equity or investment in equity, of course there is a risk. But does it mean making a loss?
No. No, sir.
Yeah, Vinit. The moment I
Sir,
say I want, एक minute, just hold on. The moment I say higher return, that means I have to take risk. Obvious choices of product assets are there. Let's say I put it equity. But does that mean loss? Taking higher risk, does it mean loss? Give me the answer.
No, sir.
Absolutely
sir.
not. Yes. Nobody is investing for loss. But what is important is from where the loss will come. That if I know that thing, that means if I know how to manage the risk, the factors which are going to lead to that risk, then of course I will not be suffering the loss. But if I don't know the factors from where the risk is coming and how to manage them, then of course losses can be there. So there is a trade-off between risk and return. And the moment I said risk means I have to have clarity, boss. What are the risks? How I need to manage it? And many people who do not invest out of fear of losing, that's very obvious. Safety is at the top of the mind. But more important is they don't even know the risk itself. I told you just in the beginning, I've written a book. Does anybody remember what is the title of that book? Okay. Learn to invest by managing risk. I'll just show you that book. Just 1 second. Are you able to see it? Are you able to see it? Give me answer. Yes,
Yes, sir.
no.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So the emphasis is all about, because as I told you, investment is all about risk management of money. Investment is all about risk management of money. Everything is linked, my dear. Everything is linked. So there is a trade-off between this and but the problem is if I don't know what are the risks, how it's going to impact, how I need to manage the risk, and then of course I'm going to make loss. But if I know all those things, definitely I will not. So आप लोग का काम क्या रहेगा? अभी let me see who can answer me after this line. What
Risk
will be
management.
your role when you are going to handle the client?
Sir, risk
Eh?
clarity देना.
किसकी?
Risk.
Clarifying
Your
the
job will be to manage the risk only.
Clarifying the risks.
हाँ, रिटर्न
the-
रिटर्न की नहीं है, रिटर्न तो अपने आप आएगा, चिंता ना करो.
Risk management.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where we are going to talk about that. It's all about your job is mainly that only. Return is dependent on risk. Risk is not dependent on return. So let's say if somebody is looking for a return, for example, somebody says, "Well, suggest me a product which is going to give me much higher return than the bank FD." Let's say just I'm giving you an example. So you know it very well from where he can come get that product. But at the same time, you also know what are the risks. And your job is to just look at the risk, how it's going to impact, and how to safeguard. That's equally important. The moment you do this, that means you have ensured the safety of money. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So you people are going to guide on the investment, keeping risk management at the top of your mind. Any question by anybody? Please ask me. Clarity should be there.
So patience is also important.
Yes, वो तो है ही भैया. किसने बोला?
So we-
नाम बोला because अभी since we I mean first day I'm not able to. Who has said this?
so me.
विनय. अरे मी से कैसे पता चलेगा? Tell your name, विनय. Yes, absolutely
Yes.
right. Absolutely, you are right. Absolutely right. Patience is also one thing.
So
But
usually
patience,
people got panicked.
विनीत, but एक चीज बहुत ध्यान देना. हम लोग ऐसे ही बोल देते हैं patience. But ultimately to have patience also, because देखो patience is a characteristic, let's say. But to have patience also, if I am having a right knowledge, right guidance, I will have a patience. But if I am not sure, then of course I will not have patience. So all these people who are not having patience or who have lost their money by taking a wrong decision. If you look at it, everything is concerned with that risk management only. Taking a wrong decision itself is not handling the risk. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
There is a proverb. You don't lose money because of market. You lose money because of your behavior. Anybody who has lost money, I can assure you, he has not lost because of market, economy, or product. Sorry. He has lost because of his behavior. The knife is the same. एक minute, the knife is the same. Whether you use it for cutting the apple or you know the answer. So it's behavior only, na? Yeah, somebody is asking some question.
Yeah. So can you please explain this question, this line a bit detailed that how does one loses his money because of this behavior or his or her behavior?
अभी आएंगे. अरे बात पिक्चर तो अभी शुरू हुई है मेरे भाई. अभी तो पूरी बाकी है. तभी तो मैंने बोला कि आप बस समझते रहो. अभी
but
आगे
this is
सब
some-
आपको दिख जाएगा. Don't worry.
No, but this is something different. This is something new that I have got to know. When I
तो इस ट्रेनिंग में मैंने तभी बोला ना पार्थ, 30 घंटे के पिक्चर को एंजॉय करो आप साथ में, ध्यान में. After 30th hours, everything will be clear. And I can bet you won't require any other training. If you understood everything clearly.
Okay.
देखो, it's all, देखो एक मिनट बताओ, एक मिनट I'll tell you. Everybody drives a car. अगर मैं रोड पे जा रहा हूं, मुझे पता है कि लोग पागलों की तरह गाड़ी चला रहे हैं. What I'll do?
So you have to see first. So it's not jana.
If I know
they do
कि
have
there
to
are
Take
people who are
insurance.
driving
Take insurance.
actually दाएं बाएं, आप क्या करोगे? आपको पता है कि एक्सीडेंट हो सकता है. You know it, ना? This is what I'm saying, knowing the risk and how to manage it. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
तो आप भी उसी की तरह चलाने शुरू कर दोगे तो आप फिर आपका भी हो जाएगा एक्सीडेंट.
Not exactly,
Life
sir,
is
but
life is all about risk management, my dear. We are talking about investment, but in fact, life is all about risk management.
that's the ultimate truth, sir. वो तो
Junk food खाते हो पार्थ? Do you eat junk food?
yes, sir.
I'm sure you must be eating it.
Yes, sir.
So what will happen? You know the answer.
Too much will cause harm. But अगर exercise
देखो,
होती रहे तो
देखो, whatever bad happens to anybody, let me put it this way. It's not
Yes.
because of somebody else's, that person himself is responsible somewhere. And that's why I use the word behavior. I can give you a number of relationships. चलो आई कैन टेल यू, आपके 4 दोस्त हैं, आप उल्टा सीधा बोल दो, क्या होगा फिर?
लड़ाई हो जाएगी।
So who is responsible? If you think of any example, ultimately that person is only responsible for his behavior. And if your behavior is good, let me give you the answer. If your behavior is good, even if your friend is not behaving properly, sooner or later he will realize, no, no, boss, I've done something wrong, and he will come and apologize with you. But उसकी behavior खराब हो और उसके बाद आपने भी उस पे अपना behavior खराब कर लिया, then you know what will be the consequences. You take anything, you will get the answer. Ultimately, that person himself or herself is only responsible. Same logic applies even in investment. But it is clear?
Yes, sir.
It's clear thing. So, trade-off है अपना, but safety यहाँ पे भी होगा. It's not that. But the only question is how you manage the risk. That's the key thing. So, in order to invest money, one need to save first. That's very, very important. Until unless you're not going to save, how you're going to invest. And that's why we had this one. Is it clear? So it is an extension of this only. So saving is a habit which everybody should have. You should save, because until unless you're not going to save, you're not going to invest. So let's say tomorrow all of you are going to, when you are going to get your job, maybe latter part of the September, October में आपको salary मिलनी शुरू हो जाएगी. What you should be doing? Spending all your money, मौज मस्ती, या saving something.
Divided into percentage.
Whatever you do, that's up to you. 5%, 10%, 1000, well, that's your call. I'm not getting into that percentage part, but of course, you know it. If your life today is important, 5 years will be your life only. So all of you are, let's say, 22 years of age or 23. 32 will be your age only. 42 will be your life only. 52 will be your only. And you are lifelong consumer. You will be requiring money. And you will be requiring more money. That means you have to invest. And that's why I started with that. Investment is most important for everybody. But in order to invest, you need to save money also. Because if you're not going to save, consume all, then of course you are left with no other. Well, that's why important, not important, matrix I told you. So what are the other factors to evaluate when you're investing? Safety, we have already talked about it. Safety of capital invested, protection against inflation, all those things are important. For a retiree, maybe surety of income is very important. Because let's say, look, the definition of safety is different for different people. Let's say for a retired person, for him, safety means he should be getting regular money. Because why? Because he will be using that money for his day-to-day consumption. Maybe for you people, safety means growth of money. So for everything, for every person, it could be different. So that's why safety has to be looked more from the usage point of view, more from the practical point of view, not theoretical point of view. Liquidity, I can sell it, easily convert into cash. Degree of ease, it has to do with the nature of product. How easily I can sell it. Operational features, divisibility. Now, which is the most sought after product for investment in our country? Number one. Number one.
FNOs.
नहीं भैया. FNOs number one कहाँ है? How many people are investing? अरे? Vatsal. How many people are investing in FNO? अरे?
I don't
Hardly.
know an exact number,
I'm
so
saying number one sought after product, which everybody wants to have. Asset. Real estate. ओहो.
आपने short term बोला ना?
मैंने शॉर्ट टर्म नहीं बोला. मैंने
Okay.
बोला शॉर्ट आफ्टर. सॉरी, आपने शॉर्ट टर्म. शॉर्ट आफ्टर.
हाँ पे तो real gold हाँ.
इन्वेस्टमेंट तो शॉर्ट टर्म है ही नहीं. वत्सल F&O is not in investment. So उसको we don't consider in investment. Yes, there are people who consider it investment, but definitely it does not fit into investment. Investment is all about long term, goal based. So real estate is the most sought after. Can you sell it as and when you want?
Not
2
exactly.
करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी है, गए बाजार में खरीद के आ गए. Is it possible?
No, it takes
No,
time,
sir.
a lot of regulation and
Liquidity is not there. Liquidity is not there. Definitely it is not there. All of us know it. So it
So
has to do
gold,
with the nature of product, operational feature, divisibility, all those things are there. So liquidity is very, very important thing because
so gold,
ultimately you are investing because you are going to use that money for some purpose. Return, now return has to be looked from two perspectives, whether I want something on a regular basis, periodic basis, or maybe I want growth of money, maybe both, maybe one. So again, that has to be looked again, looking at the what the person wants as per his need. But return also gets impacted by the exit charges penalty. For example, let's say somebody has gone for a 3-year FD and after 6 months only he wants money. What happens? Some penalty charges are imposed or not. So let's say he was getting 6%, and if 2% was the penalty charges, then he's not getting 6%. He will be getting a lesser percent. So that those things has to be taken into care. Convenience, how easily I can invest, how easily I can withdraw, how easily I can manage. It is to do more with the operational part. Ticket size. Now, as we have talked about, the first dream for everybody or most sought after product is real estate. Somebody wants to buy a flat. What is the average cost of a flat today?
कहाँ पे?
Average cost. कहीं पे भी बता दो यार.
Okay.
Anywhere,
You're not
wherever
getting
you feel.
a
Yeah.
good 1500 1600 स्क्वायर फीट का करोड़ से नीचे तो नहीं आने वाला.
1 करोड़ से नीचे नहीं आ जाएगा. तो बताइए, आपको पहले तो 1 करोड़ जमा करना पड़ेगा या आपको दहेज में आपके ससुर दे देंगे. डोंट टेक दहेज. Anyway, या आप फादर दे दें, बट फादर ने भी तो कमाया ही होगा ना यार. आई मीन एनीबॉडी हु इज गिविंग यू, देखो हमको आपको लगेगा कि इट इज फ्री, बट समबडी हैज अर्नड इट ना, सो यू कैन नॉट से इट इज फ्री. द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट कि maybe the son is thinking was he has got free. No, the parents have earned it. Somebody has earned it. That's for sure. So again, to buy a 1 crore flat, you require 1 crore. But 1 crore also you have to accumulate. Then it will become 1 crore. It will not going to become suddenly 1 crore. Now minimum ticket size 1 crore. Then only you can buy. Even if it is 50 lakh also, you need to have 50 lakhs. So ticket size also becomes a very, very important thing for investments. You need to look at it. How much that person can invest. How much he is having that money in his hand. So that's important factor to evaluate. Taxability of income. Now there are many products which are having different tax as per the rule of the land. Capital gain, dividend taxations, all those taxations are there. So ultimately, the net return to the investor is net of taxation. So some products are having more tax, some are having lesser tax. Now let me ask you one thing. All of you, please pay attention. Equity versus debt. Bank FD, let's put it this way. Where the tax rate is more? Bank FD or equity?
Bank FD.
Equity.
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 Bank FD.
Who is saying equity? Show your face first. Who is saying equity? Who has said equity?
Yes, sir.
Okay. देखो, this training is all about learning. अक्षय, आपने बोला था?
हाँ सर.
नहीं, अक्षय क्रॉस चेक कर लो यार, यही तो मैं बोलता हूँ. Equity is least taxed across the globe, including India. अभी अभी लोग डिमांड कर रहे हैं, प्लीज, अभी बजट इज देयर टू कम. There is a demand from the capital market professionals bodies कि after 3 years equity taxation should become zero. That's a demand. देखो, ध्यान रखो, people for safety go to the debt like bank FD. But when you look at the tax rate is more in debt compared to equity. Is it clear? What about
Yes, sir.
return? Where the return is more? Debt versus equity.
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 So debt may you are getting a lesser return, tax is more. So what is the net return?
Sorry, sir.
More. It is reducing further, my dear. Is it or not?
Yes.
6% आपका रिटर्न आ रहा है, 7% रिटर्न आ रहा है. Tax rate is also more. So ultimately, net of tax your return is less. Inflation को तो मैंने अभी काउंट ही नहीं किया, वो तो अलग कहानी है. So all these things, when you look at it, again, it impacts the return. And that's why I said it's a trade-off. Now, many people, when we talk of risk, paying a higher tax, reducing your return, this is a risk also not. Give me the answer. When you could have got a higher return with no loss probability. So again, how you look at the risk, that is very important. Because most people, the risk is highly misinterpreted, misunderstood. So taxability of the income, it impacts on the return and safety. Because again, it's for the sake of safety, I'm going for something, but again, I'm being taxed more there. And my net return is getting reduced. Tax reduction under ATC. So, but that tax reduction, wherever, whichever product you have got, there is a lock-in. So all tax deduction product has got a lock-in. You cannot withdraw that money before the lock-in period because that's the rule by income tax authority. So again, there is a trade-off between the liquidity and tax deduction. I cannot withdraw that money whenever I want if it is in lock-in, though I'm getting a tax deduction. So there is a trade-off. Now, these are the factors when you're evaluating the investment. But no factor should be seen in isolation. Is it clear? You have to look at all the factors, but not in isolation. The problem with most of the people are their priority is this only. Is it or not? Maybe to some extent this, but they don't look at all these things. Everything is equally important, yeah. But it should not be looked in isolation. And it should be looking at the investor. So these factors are for everybody. But maybe for different investors, it can mean differently. For a young person, which is more important? Give me the answer. Which is more important for you people?
His returns and his liquidity.
नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट, फिर कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी बातें कर दी आपने. किसने बोला?
Vatsal.
वंशल चेहरा दिखाइए.
Camera, hello, hello.
नहीं वत्सल. The moment you said return, again I'm going to ask you which way. Regular, capital appreciation, growth.
Growth.
Growth. तो फिर लिक्विडिटी आपने कैसे बोल दिया? लिक्विडिटी आपको 20 साल बाद चाहिए ना. कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी नहीं बोलना है. इज इट क्लियर? So in your case, अभी लिक्विडिटी की कोई मायने नहीं होती. Maybe after, yes, liquid. So the product which you are looking at it should have a liquidity, but it's not immediate liquidity. Again, it should not be. Definitely nobody is investing. देखो, Vatsal, please एक बात ध्यान रखना. There is nothing illiquid. In fact, real estate is also, you can sell it, but can you sell it easily? The question is this. There is nothing illiquid, my dear. So every investment product asset is illiquid. But can I sell it as and when I want? The question is this. And that's where I have to look at it. So for you people, maybe the important when you're investing, this is the important. And liquidity, of course, maybe 20 years, 30 years, or whenever you want your goal. That way you have to look at it. Is it clear? So yes, do. But what about retiree? Old person? Let's say your grandfather. For him, what is more important? For him, safety is important. Regular income is important. Is it clear? Maybe liquidity is important. So again, whenever you are going to look at the client, all factors are important. Again, I'm not saying, but it can vary depending upon person to person. That's why investor also has to be kept in mind whenever you are evaluating it. Any question by anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for a age-related person who is like a senior citizen, so like a grandfathers, Is it really that safety is also concerning about him? Tax deduction can also be also concerning.
बात जब हम सेफ्टी की बात करते हैं ना, that's what I'm saying. Safety means what? Nobody, whether even for you people also, safety means no loss. Even for your grandfather also means safety means no loss. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
तो सेफ्टी दोनों के लिए वही है. प्लीज ध्यान देना. It's not that when you are going to invest, safety means loss for you or no loss for him. No, safety means for you also that thing. But please, all of you pay attention. Since your grandfather will be requiring money on a monthly basis, that means immediate to short term. For him, you have to look at the safety with liquidity from that time perspective. But you will be requiring this money after maybe 20 years or 30 years. Is it clear? So for you, safety here means, ki boss, how much money you will be requiring at that point of time, keeping inflation and all the things in mind. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Loss किसी के लिए नहीं है भाई मेरे. Nobody is investing to make loss. But the only thing is understanding of safety has to be different for different person. So if your grandfather is not getting, let's say he wants 30,000. I'm just giving you an example. As a regular income. To meet his expenses. Let's say he's not having 20,000, 30,000. He's having only 15,000. Of course, this is not safe for him. You want 1 crore after 20 years. If you are not having 1 crore, then that is safety for you. That's not safe. Is it clear? देखो क्लैरिटी रहना चाहिए बहुत. Meaning of the word is the same, but again, depending upon when, for what situation. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, please ask question. No question? Check. So naturally you have to invest. You have to invest in some assets. So broadly, these are the 4 assets: real estate, commodities, fixed income, equity. And further, there are sub assets. So we are going to talk about that. The first one is real estate. Most important, most popular. Why? Why? If you go by the RBI data, 3/4 of the Indian savers' money. RBI data says 3/4 of the Indian savers' money is in real estate. Why it is most popular and important for everybody? Why? Why everybody wants?
Because it's tangible and it's a traditional way to invest.
Absolutely right. Because it is tangible, of course. आप किसी को दिखाओ, ये देखो मेरा इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट 5 करोड़ या म्यूचुअल फंड का 5 करोड़ और ये देखो मेरा घर 5 करोड़ का. किसमें ज्यादा हमें खुशी मिलती है?
घर में.
दोनों 5 करोड़ ही है. From the value perspective, both are the same. There's no difference. But then again, I feel pride. Just look my bungalow, my flat. Of course, anything which we see, we touch, we feel more happy. But here we are talking about investment. Please mark my word. So that's why it is, as rightly pointed out by Farhan. You have answered this, Farhan? Tangibility is the aspect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's human nature. Anything which is tangible, we give more value.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about investment. Mind my word, investment. So investment में जब भी हम बात करते हैं तो again I'll go back to this. Sorry. These are the factors which you have to look at it. ठीक है? Now the house in which you are living, should we consider it as an investment or consumption?
Investment, sir.
The house in which you are living, should it be taken as an investment or consumption?
Acha. Oh.
Consumption.
No, many people consider it as an investment also, but that's not the right way to do it. It's consumption. For the very simple reason, if I'm living here in this house, how can I use that money? If I give it for rent, then that's a separate thing. I'm getting a rental income. Or if I sell it tomorrow, then that's a separate thing. But then again, I have to go and stay somewhere else. So house in which somebody is living should be always treated as a consumption, as an expense, not as an investment.
So, but then the potential rent which you would give if you not have that house, that is also getting discounted.
Okay, first I didn't get it. What are you saying?
If you do not have that real estate, I mean the house where you live, if you do not have that real estate, then you would live on rent somewhere else.
No,
But
no, we are
because you have
talking
that
about,
house,
पार्थ देखो, there is a difference between net worth and investment. ये थोड़ा सा differentiate कर दो. Net worth और इसमें थोड़ा फर्क करो. Let's say you are staying in a house of 2 crore. You can say my net worth is of 2 crore. Is it okay?
okay,
But when I'm talking about investment, I will not consider it as an investment. Is it clear? There's a
Yes.
difference between net worth and investment. Please. Is it clear?
So with the same argument, I mean, I personally also feel that it's like the house that we live in, it's consumption because we pay maintenance and we, it depreciates over time. Some like the
तो
whatever,
वो तो है वत्सल.
the value
नहीं
of it,
डिप्रिशिएट तो नहीं होता है. हाउस तो अप्रिशिएट ही हो रहा है.
मतलब उसका
डिप्रिशिएट
expense
तो नहीं
करना
हो रहा
पड़ेगा,
है.
कराना पड़ेगा हर 5 साल में वगैरह
हाँ.
वगैरह, वो expenses.
देखो, the rule is very simple. The moment I say investment, please एक बात ध्यान रखना. For what I'm making the investment? Again, let's go back to the original question which I posed you. To use that money for some consumption or for some purpose. Now, if I'm staying in that house, how am I going to use that money? It's very clear, no? So I cannot take it as an investment. Many people do it, but that's not a correct way to do. That's what I'm trying to say. You can say, you can add it to your net worth. Is it clear? Net worth में आप add कर सकते हो, but you cannot take it as an investment. Let's say, for example, Arjun is having 4 cars, and the value of 4 car is 40 lakh. Can you take it as an investment? Give me the answer. You cannot take it as an investment, my dear.
Depreciating asset है वो तो फिर.
Depreciate. That's what I'm saying. The investment का clarity रखो. Net worth और investment में फर्क है. Please, all of you, will be very clear. Here we are talking about investment. We are not talking about the net worth. Is it clear? Chaliए, so we'll have a 10 minutes break, and all of you be back by 11:40. All of you, 10 minutes break, 11:40. All of you be back. Everybody is listening to me.
Sure,
10
sir.
minutes break, 11:40. All of you be back. 10 minutes
Sure.
break. So everybody is back. Everybody is back. Please open your camera. All of you open your camera. All of you open your camera. All of you open your camera. Many people have not opened their camera. Please, let's not waste time. Vansh, Rajiv, Adarsh, Jitesh, Ayushi, Parth, Vineet, Siddharth. All of you open your camera. Smriti, Prince, all of you open your camera. Vansh, Adarsh, you're not there. Vansh and Adarsh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
But why your camera is off?
Give me a
Please open your camera. And Vansh. So, the house in which you live should be taken as an expense, not as an investment. So you've got different type of real estate, residential, commercial, all those things are there. Now, whenever we are talking about as an investment, please all of you pay attention. One thing is most important is we want appreciation in the price. Or let's say even if you are giving on a investment on a rent also, we want a good rental yield. So the location is the single most important factor. For example, even if you look at any city you look at it, whether it's Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, any city, even a mid-size or smaller city also, the demand for that particular uh, real estate property is not the same within the city also. It varies depending upon where it has been purchased, location. Because within a city also, I can say you about Mumbai, there are some properties prices where it's appreciating, some where it is stagnant, somewhere it is even going down. Is it clear? So ये दिमाग में अपने मत रखना कि all real estate prices are going up. No, it's not that. It all depends upon the demand. And demand, of course, it has to be viewed more. So location is a very, very single important factor wherever you're purchasing for investment. That's one part. Second is real estate is illiquid. We have already talked about it. You cannot sell it as and when you want. Illiquidity के साथ ही तो और भी बहुत important चीज है. Because we talked about it, you are investing because of some usage of that money at some point of time. Let's say somebody wants money. Please, all of you pay attention. All of you. Many people think, boss, okay, boss, I want to fund my son education through real estate. It's going to happen after 15, 20 years. Let's say 15 years, for example. Let me invest in some real estate project. And 15th year, I'll sell it and convert it into cash. But again, the problem is, first of all, you cannot convert it as and when you want. It will take some time. Is it or not? Can anybody say how long it will take? Is there any guarantee? Any one of you? कोई guarantee नहीं है, boss. You can sell it maybe in 1 month also, maybe it can take more than 6 months also. That's first part. The second is real estate also has to do a lot with the state of economy. Particularly, let's say if you want to sell it and if the economy condition is not good, then what happens? Are there buyers? Are people taking loans to buy? No. So prices will go down. And let's say if I'm in a dire need of money, then what will happen? The market sooner or later will come to know. And आपकी 2 करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी कितने में बिकेगी वत्सल?
कम में बिकेगी अगर if you're in dire need
1.5
of
करोड़ में बिकेगी या हो सकता है उससे भी कम में बिके तो फायदा क्या हुआ? देखो, this is where you need to analyze anything from a very, very practical perspective. So liquidity is one thing, but if you look at how it can cause harm to you, it can even impact your return also. So the property which is having a market value of say let's say 2 crore, and just because you want money, left with no other choice, I mean, you're not able to sell it. And if you want money and if you show your what I would say majburi towards that, then people are going to exploit that. Ultimately, a 2 crore property you will be ending up selling at 1.5 crore. So ultimately, you have not gained also. So liquidity is one thing, not a divisible asset. I'm having a 3 bedroom flat. I cannot sell one flat to one person, second to another, third, one room to one person, second to another, third to another. It's not divisible asset in many cases. It can be bought both in a physical as well as in a financial form. You've got real estate REITs in there. Return can be in form of capital appreciation or current income, depending upon in what way you want. High transaction cost. The brokerage cost you need to pay in case, because real estate generally you go through a property dealers. How much they charge on an average? Roughly
1%, I guess.
1%. अब 2 करोड़ में 1% कितना हो गया?
नहीं सर, लिमिट भी रहती है।
अरे
1 लाख
हाँ
लोग
भाई,
नहीं
बट
देते।
फिर भी आप सोचो ना, 2 लोग तो आप दे दिए ना. What about registration charges?
Depends upon the size of the.
अरे भाई साइज ठीक है बट देते हो ना. What about cost of maintenance? You have taken a flat. Please, all of you pay attention. And you have given it on rent for 30,000. And if you are paying 5,000 as a maintenance charges itself, so are you getting 30,000 or 25,000? 25,000 मिल रहा है मेरे भैया. So you factor all those things also, na? What about municipal tax? You have to pay property tax. What about so many other charges are there, boss? And if you factor all those things, then your return is not that much. Let me tell you. Any idea what is a rental yield in our country? Rental yield, any idea?
So rental
Yield. You know what is rental yield? The annual rent which you are getting divided by the value of the property. Any idea what it is? It is somewhere between 2.5 to 3.5%, depending upon different cities. If I take average as 3 also, or let's say 3.5 also, let's say. What is the inflation?
6%.
So are you
Sir,
getting a
but the
positive
value,
real
sir,
rate of
but
return or negative real rate of return?
sir, but the value of the property also rising, na?
अरे भैया मेरे तो प्रॉपर्टी वाली अभी अभी आपको लोकेशन में मैंने बोला है ना. डोंट लिव अंडर मिथ गोपाल. दिस इज अ मिथ. दिस इज अ मिथ. प्रॉपर्टी देखो गोपाल, यू हैड आंसर दिस.
No, sir, no, sir. Farhan.
चेहरा दिखाओ यार, बगैर चेहरा देखे मैं बात नहीं कर पाता हूँ.
Sir, on है.
फरहान. फरहान.
Camera on है. Yes, sir.
नहीं बट दिख नहीं रहा आपको. मे बी और ऑन द. हाँ फरहान. अगेन दिस इज अ मिथ माय डियर फरहान. इन विच सिटी यू आर फरहान? In which city you are living, Farhan?
Sir, I'm in Chhattisgarh right now.
छत्तीसगढ़ में. बट वहां पे भी आप देख लेना, ऐसा नहीं है कि प्रॉपर्टी का प्राइस ऐसे भाग रहा है. वो गलतफहमी में हम, कहीं ऐसे भाग रहा है, कहीं ऐसे गिर भी रहा है, कहीं ऐसे बराबर ही है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन कि आपका व्हाट इज द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, जो लोकेशन आई सेड ना, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन what are the infrastructure development which is happening in and around where you are living. Is it clear? Because more infrastructure development happens, for example, let's say commercial hub बन रहा है, let's say malls बन रहे हैं, school, hospitals, then of course value of the property goes up. Is it clear? अगर नहीं तो फिर नहीं बढ़ता है. So not necessarily कि it is at every location it is increasing, but Most of the people are under this myth only about every property prices is going. This is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I put it location. This is the most important factor. And one way of judging, please all of you pay attention. One way of judging whether the demand is increasing or decreasing is rental yield. Please all of you pay attention. If the rental yield is increasing, then what you can interpret?
That demand is in.
Absolutely. And if the rental yield is decreasing, then demand is decreasing. Absolutely. So let's say if the demand is increasing, more and more people want to go and stay there, then of course there can be appreciation in price. But if there more and more people are not going there, let's say if the demand is decreasing, and as I told you, location also very important thing. Please make a note of it. Maybe you are living in a complex, housing complex. Just adjacent to your housing complex, a new structure is coming in. Where the demand will increase? In your or in that property? It will increase into new structure. So not necessarily, you can conclude that. But one factor where you can have some judgment is the rental. Any question by anybody? And the last point is very important. Lack of transparency. What happened with Noida Twin Tower? Anybody knows? Noida Twin Tower, you remember? Few years back?
Yes, sir.
Demolished. आप देखो आए दिन आजकल आजकल आपको पढ़ते हो गया. In almost every city is happening. Almost every city is happening. Government is now looking at whether somebody illegal property or encroached land deed is not clear. So many things are happening. I know for sure in Mumbai, there are a lot of properties which are the construction has stopped after some floor have been built up because somebody has filed a case. So lack of transparency is a big important issue. People have paid money, let's say 30 lakh, 40 lakh, and suddenly it's stuck up. Then you lose everything. So these are the factors which one should be looking at it whenever you are looking at evaluating a real estate for investment. Any question by anybody?
Could you explain what RITS was? I've heard of it somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure.
What?
REITs.
REITs, आएंगे. We are going to talk about that. Don't worry. About the products we are going to talk. Don't worry. We are going to discuss that product. Commodities, you've got two types, perishable and non-perishable. For example, fruit, vegetables, these are all perishable. And non-perishable, let's say metals, oils, all those things are there, which can be stored. So you're not having any investment product on the perishable side. Non-perishable में आपके हैं आपको, but there also you have got mostly it is the derivative product. So just I was talking to Vatsal who is at F&O. Derivative product again, many people take it as an investment also, but it cannot be called as an investment product for two simple reasons. One, these are highly leveraged instruments. When I'm saying highly leveraged instruments, mean with a small amount you take a big exposure, so your gain can be abnormally high, loss can be also abnormally. Both things are. That means you are at the extreme end of the risk. Is it clear? Extreme end of the risk. Second point is these are all short-term contracts. Future options कितने दिन का होता है?
महीने का भी हो सकता है.
महीने का होता है. मैक्सिमम 3 महीने का. 3 महीने का इन्वेस्टमेंट बोलोगे आप? Can you say investment? So this is in fact. That's what I'm saying. People do consider it as an investment. A normal person, but you cannot take it as an investment. Sorry. These fall under speculative rate. Anything which is falling under speculative rate cannot be taken as an investment. So कल को अगर आपका कोई क्लाइंट बोले नहीं सर हमने इन्वेस्ट किया है और F&O में किया है और ये सब किया है तो उसको बोलिए सर वो दिस इन रियल सेंस इट इज नॉट इन्वेस्टमेंट. You can take it as an investment. Sorry. Just like we said, talk about where you are residing. If you're taking it as an investment, that's not correct. Investment means something long term which serves some purpose, which is not having the extreme risk. Is it clear? और भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं डेरिवेटिव की, which we are going to talk later on. So these are all short term, so it cannot be taken. Basically, you have got two derivative commodities as an investment: gold and silver. Where you have some products. Now, when we talk about both gold and silver, these are all natural commodities. Now, anything which is natural, anything which has got natural, has got a characteristic which is going to stay there. Is it clear? Anything which is natural, again, please make a note of it. Anything which has been made by a human being keeps on changing. But anything which is natural, it will remain like that only. 100 years back also, and 100 years forward also, the gold is the same gold. Purity level and all those things. Is it or not? Extracted from under the earth. But what about car? Is the same car? Is the same flat? What it was 100 years back? So you know it, the answer no. So that's why being a natural commodity, whether its basic characteristic remains the same, the prices are in sync across the globe. When I'm saying in sync, please mind it, because it is linked with the basic feature. But again, in which country it is being bought and sold? Maybe in dollar, or maybe in rupee, or maybe in yen, it can vary. So depending upon in which country it is being sold, the strength of the currency, that matters, as well as the demand and supply. Is it clear? So gold की prices आपके इसके हिसाब से घटते बढ़ते रहते हैं. Currency strength as well as the demand and supply factor, that's there. Otherwise, the basic characters is the same. Gold is also considered to be the safe haven. Safe haven, when I'm saying, what does it mean?
You can park your investments.
देखो, दो चीज के बीच में डिफरेंशिएशन आप लोगों को करना पड़ेगा. There is something called safest. Which is the safest asset?
Gold.
Again, as I told you, for everything you have to have an interpretation. How you interpret it, that's up to you. But again, generally we use say that is considered to be the safest asset. Is it clear? We are going to talk about that later on. So I'll explain you why. But gold is considered to be the safe haven. When I'm saying safe haven means, it simply means whenever the economy is not doing well. For example, there is a slowdown or recessionary trend. Or maybe the market is not doing well, a bearish trend. Political uncertainty, war-like situation, but something more on the negative side, then gold gives you the best return. The reason is very simple. अभी आपको पता है, today most of the countries, including US also, they are using their forex reserves to buy gold. Are you aware? Last month का data, when Indian RBI is also doing it. क्यों कर रहा है ये लोग? Even USA is also buying gold. The RBI is also buying gold. But why it is up? It is a
Stable prices to back its currency, to back domestic currency.
lot of reasons are there, Vishal, Vatsal, sorry. But again, the geopolitical situation, all of us know it what it is. I mean, हम देख ही रहे हैं हमें सामने. I mean, war between Russia, Ukraine. I mean, either in the Middle East also those things are happening. Those things are there. The second thing is, again, USA also fears that there can be a slowdown recession in the US economy, which can impact.
Sir,
And
I
that's
think
why
the main reason is the UK is freezing the gold of Russia. That's why they
बहुत सारे रीजन है, बहुत सारे रीजन है. यस, बहुत सारे रीजन है. रशिया तो है ही एक आपका बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. But whenever such things happen more on the economy front, then the real assets, which is equity, debt, and real estate, which are closely linked with the economy, they get impacted. And that's why current countries, as a safety measure, do have got more gold reserves, because again it's a natural asset, so you can Tomorrow, if you remember, I don't know how many of you know it. In 1991, when we are having a forex problem in our country, government of India was ready to pledge gold because at that time we were not having that much dollar. So that's why gold is also considered to be an alternate asset. Alternate currency we are both सकते हैं. Alternate asset, alternate currency. Because you can pay it in gold also. So it's a globally accepted asset, as I told you just now. A physical gold, again, it counts on the capital appreciation. There is no regular income. You have got gold denominated products. That's a separate thing. But physical gold or physical silver, they are only on capital appreciation, no regular income. Purity is an issue because in gold, can anyone of us judge whether it's pure or impure? 24 कैरेट है
We
या
can't.
20 कैरेट है या 18 कैरेट है? Can any one of us judge?
No, sir.
Need to test it, felt it, and then
कैसे
test.
करोगे बत्सल? आप बताओ ना.
Scientist ने उसका तो idea नहीं.
आप कैसे करोगे? बस मैं अपनी बात कर रहा हूँ. सिंपल सी बात है.
We'll
It
take
will
it
be
for
tested in the lab, of course. That's a separate thing. But again, that's the issue. Now, let me tell you another thing which is very important for each one of you to know. A news came in the newspaper some maybe a year back or something. Even many of these jewelers who are giving a purity certificate, they are also getting this fake. अब वहां पे भी प्रॉब्लम है यार. आप पैसा खिला के किसी से फेक भी सर्टिफिकेट दे सकते हो. अब बताओ क्या आप अब किस चीज में भरोसा करोगे? ये बताओ ना. I cannot judge from my naked eyes whether it's 24 carat or 18 carat or 20 carat. And maybe they are giving a fake certificate also. That came. So again, purity is an issue. Apart from that, there are so many other issues. Storage, theft, falana, ठिकाना, वो सब तो है ही. So these are some of the characteristics. Fixed income, all debt products, bank FD और ये सारे जितने भी हैं. Now, basically, when you look at the fixed income, you've got two type of things. One is marketable and the other one is non-marketable. For example, bank FD, PPF, NSC, these are all non-marketable. Debentures, bonds, treasury bill, GSEC, these are all marketable. Now, since we are going to talk about mutual fund, we'll be sticking to the marketable, not non-marketable. Is it clear? So, different issuers are there, companies, governments, state governments, so they issue debentures, bond. Every debt instrument, whenever it is issued, irrespective of, even issued by the government of India also, it should have three characteristics. One, maturity is well known. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That means by that time, money will be returned back to the investor who has invested in that. Maturity is known. Now, in between, a fixed coupon rate is also there. Whether you're going to get 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever it may be, that is decided. Frequency of coupon is also known. In other words, the cash flow which is coming from the investment in debt, it is known. Now, since cash flow is known, I have invested 1 lakh in any bond, any debenture, let's say. How much and when I'll be getting, that is known in advance. That's why debt is considered to be the safest asset. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But safest का फिर आपका definition बड़ा change होना चाहिए. Nirav Modi debt and Ratan Tata equity. That's where you need to be very clear about safety को आपको narrow parameter में नहीं देखना. Yes, from the cash flow point of view, it is the safest. But again, to whom you have given the money? लेके भाग गया यहाँ से तो, then you know the answer. So safety has to be looked also from the credibility point of view. Is it clear? Credibility point of view. That's why SEBI has made it mandatory. This is mandatory. All non-government issuer, whenever they are going to raise money from through debt, they have to mandatorily get credit rating. Rating is must for them. All of you know what is rating?
Asset rating.
Rating is done by CRISIL, ICRA, CARE. These are the rating companies, Moody's, and they rate it. Triple is considered to be the topmost. Double A plus, like that, it goes down. So rating is mandatory. There is always an investment grade, speculative grade. वो सारा आपका defined. That means anybody who is investing knows what risk I'm taking. Just now I said, ultimately you lose money only by ignoring all these things. The moment I know what risk is involved. अब मान लीजिए एक डेट है ट्रिपल ए है, please all of you pay attention, is giving you 7%, and there is a single A rated which is giving you 10%. What is clear before you?
Triple A is more safer.
Clear है यार. अब 10% के लालच में जाना है, आपकी मर्जी. वो आपकी, that's why I said ना, you lose because of your behavior. You went into greed. You went into greed and invested in a risky one. Ultimately, the bond was the same idea. Bond is same. Everybody knows. It is less credit worthy, but you invested it knowing it. So you are to be blamed only. Is it clear? So that's why, I mean, debt में जब भी आप देखो तो ये सब characteristic है. Debt is considered to be safer than equity because of the cash flow is known. Debt as a or bond as a category is known, but not necessarily every bond, every debt is safer than equity. I cannot say. Okay? So again, it is classified as per issuer, maturity, rating, income generation, different type bonds. Generally, short-term bonds are ideal for liquidity need. Medium to long-term are for the income generation need. Fourth is your equity. Equity is what? Aligning with somebody for ownership, for profit. So in equity, what happens? Money is raised through IPO, FPO. What is full form of IPO?
Initial public offering.
And FPO follow public. So any company wants to raise money, so they have to follow the SEBI norms regulation, and then they raise money as per the SEBI guidelines. All those things are there. So anybody who is investing in equity, he is taking a risk. When I'm saying taking a risk, what does it mean? Anybody starting a business is also taking a risk. What does that mean?
Business can go upside down as well. Now returns can fall or
Nobody knows, yeah.
making as well.
Because we are living in a very competitive environment. Maybe I've started a business today, but tomorrow somebody else can come with a better competitive scale. Is it or not? And they can take the market share, or they can capture my client also. So those things can happen. So business is all about taking a risk. Let me tell you. And investment in equity is also about risk. Why? Because again, it is linked with the fortune of the company. How good or how bad the company is going to do. If the company is going to do well, take a right decision, they are able to, their sales are increasing, profit is happening, all those things are happening, then of course, I mean, there's nothing wrong. But if that is not happening, then you make a loss. That's very clear. So please एक बात का ध्यान दीजिएगा. Please all of you pay attention. One common factor which has to be whenever you're making any investment decision, whether it is debt, whether it is equity, whether it is gold, or whether it is real estate. What is that common factor? Should be there. What is that common factor? Please quickly, yaar. Whether you are investing in debt or equity or real estate or gold, what should be one thing, common factor, which you should be looking at it? Common. Yeah. Quality. रियल एस्टेट में भी क्वालिटी होना चाहिए. अरे you have taken up land from somebody and land deed is not clear. It is having some legal dispute. क्या होगा फिर? वंश, पैसा बढ़ेगा या डूबेगा?
डूबेगा.
You have booked a flat with some builder, and that builder is having a bad reputation, bad cash flows, what will happen?
डूब जाऊंगा.
तो आपके सामने क्लियर है. सेम थिंग अबाउट गोल्ड, आई सेड प्योरिटी. दैट भी आपको मैंने अभी जस्ट नाउ एक्सप्लेन. One common factor is whenever you are going to guide your client for investment decision is the quality. Is it clear? Please have word note कीजिएगा. Quality. Quality means good. It should not be bad. And for different assets, you have got different way of criteria for judging the quality aspect. Real estate के लिए अलग है. गोल्ड के लिए अलग है. गोल्ड के लिए प्योरिटी हो गया. रियल एस्टेट के लिए आपका अलग है. ट्रांसपेरेंसी हो गया. डेट के लिए भी आपका अलग है. The intention of that promoter और the business situation and equity के लिए भी वही चीज है. So quality is the key. Please and please note this word quality because we are going to talk further about this. So equity historically, if it has been seen, it has given the best return in long term, not in India, across the globe. Why it is? Why historically equity has given the best return in long term, not only in India, across the globe? Why? I started with one thing in the beginning. What was that? Do you remember?
Ultimately, the companies grow, the
But
profits increase.
Vatsal, what will lead to the growth? आज मारुति बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, but what leads to that growth?
Demand
Sir,
increase.
that demand thing.
Demand.
Absolutely. So ultimately, when I talk about demand के पीछे क्या होता है? Demand because of what? Because of more
Historical
consumption.
performance.
Consumption, my dear. If there will be more consumption, there will be more demand. If there will be lesser consumption, there will be lesser demand. Everything is interlinked. Now, if you look at it, and if you consider your grandparents' time to your parents' time to your time, and visualize your children time, one thing you will find which is happening. What is happening? Your children are yet to come, but do some visualization. Grandparents' time to parents' time to your time, next generation. What you could see or feel, or you have come to know. Aspiration for better life, better lifestyle. Is it or not? Aspiration for better life, better lifestyle.
True.
The moment I said better life, better lifestyle, what does it mean? कल तक इंडियन ब्रांडेड टी शर्ट पहन रहे थे, अब जरा बाहर का पहने. कल तक 5 था मेरे वार्डरोब में, अब 10 हो. अल्टीमेटली व्हाट इज दैट? यही है ना. दादाजी के टाइम में स्कूटर था, मेरे पिताजी के टाइम में मारुति का मॉडल लिया, नाउ आई वांट ऑडी. व्हाट इज दैट? Ultimately, when we talk about consumption, please, consumption is linked with the growth. Now, this growth is happening. If you look at it, we are the largest population. Everybody wants better life, better lifestyle. That means, if you look at it historically, India में equity का return बहुत अच्छा हुआ है as an asset. Is it clear? Is it clear? The clarity should be there from where the return is coming. Why it has given the highest best return? Because not only in India, across the globe, let me tell you, everybody wants better life, better lifestyle. Yeah, any one of you don't want a better life, better lifestyle? Give me the answer. Any one of you? Nobody. I know. That's for sure. भले ही बोलने के लिए यहाँ पे कोई बोल दे, but वो अलग बात है. Nobody wants. Nobody wants. Everybody wants. Because that's a natural thing, yeah. And why it should not be there? So that's why if you look at it, equity as an asset has given the best return because it is linked with the consumption. Consumption means growth. Growth means having a better lifestyle. So when you invest in equity, you are getting return either in form of a dividend or capital appreciation, and or both. Dividend is sharing of profit. So companies, if the company is doing well, of course, sales, revenue, profitability, everything will happen, and they will share, keep on sharing as and when they feel with their shareholders. And if the company is doing well, then of course the share prices will also go up. But there is one problem. What is that problem? When the moment I said share prices goes up, please all of you pay attention. There are 3-4 factors which impact the share price. One, which is very intrinsic to the company. That means fundamental with the company. Company earnings, profitability, all those things. And the second thing is which is linked external, which is to do with the market and economy. And market and economy, does it move in a linear form or in a cyclical form?
Cyclical.
Cyclical form. आपको पता है आज अगर expansion है तो कल को slow down नहीं होगा. If the market today is in bullish, tomorrow it will be bearish also. It moves in cycle. That's a reality. That's one part. So that's why, yes, sometimes good, sometimes bad, it will happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is, in short term, since so many news and views are floating across the market, so every day everything cannot be good also. Every day everything cannot be bad also. Is it or not? So if there is a good news, it has got a positive impact. If it's a bad news, it has got a negative impact. So in short term, sentiment also impacts the price of equity. And even some of the best companies, for example, Infosys, Wipro, Hindustan Lever, Maruti, you will also find in short term their prices also going down. That means in short term prices can fluctuate in any direction. So the moment I say fluctuates in any direction, risk is more or less?
More.
More. That means in short term, equity is the most risky. It's very clear. Quality is a common factor. And if long term, बात ही खत्म हो गई. Is it clear? If I invest in a good quality equity in long term, definitely I am going to gain, not lose. And not only gain, good gain. Any question by anybody? मैं बार बार आपको बता रहा हूं, आपको सिर्फ समझना है बॉस रिस्क कहां से आता है और कैसे उसको मैनेज करना है, बस दैट्स ऑल. Anybody wants to ask any question? Nobody? Everything is clear or not? I'm explaining you in very, very simple words so that it's clear to everybody. So similarity and difference between the different assets category, tangibility, intangibility, financial form, physical form. For example, let's say flat, land, it's physical form. Same thing, REITs, it is in a financial form. So, I mean, for each assets, you have got both the forms. Tangibility hai, intangibility hai, financial, physical, investment or consumption, income, profit, as an owner or a lender. So when you are investing in any debt, are you owner or a lender? Any debt, are you owner or a lender? You are a lender. You are not an owner. But if you are investing in equity, then
Owner.
you are. So again, I mean, one should know cash flow is known or unknown. For example, cash flow is known in debt, not known in other cases, in rupee or external. So I mean, there are a lot of similarities and differences which can be drawn between different assets. So these are some of the different investment products. I mean, lot of there's are equity में आपके अलग है, debt में अलग है. So many products are there. Now let's look at the investment risk. Since we are talking about money, Consumption is done only by money only. We are lifelong consumer. We are born consumer. We die also as a consumer. मरते भी हैं तो अब ध्यान रखो. तो मतलब छुटकारा नहीं मिल सकता है. Is it or not? छुटकारा वंश आपको तभी मिलेगा जब आप हिमालय पे जाके तपस्या करना शुरू कर दोगे. हाँ. Otherwise, till you are in this material world, I mean, you are a consumer. You cannot run away from that. So the moment I say you are in this material world, one thing is there which will be there always. What is that thing?
Risk.
Risk. भाग नहीं सकते मेरे भैया.
And sir,
भाग नहीं सकते.
and sir,
भाग
just
नहीं
to
सकते.
add,
Yes, risk रहेगा. You have to. The only thing is you should know the risk, from where it is coming, what will be its impact, and how I should be managing it. That's all. So investment is all about risk management. In fact, life is all about risk management. Let me tell you. Life is all about risk management. Yeah, Parth, you want to say something?
yeah, sir, just to add your point that what you said नहीं कि वो भागना तभी हो सकता है जब वहाँ हिमालय पे जाएंगे. सर, to travel to
वहां भी नहीं
Himalayas
जा
is
हो
also
सकता है भाई.
वहाँ वहाँ
वहां
वहाँ
भी
तक
ग्लेशियर
जाने
पर चल रहे हैं.
वहाँ तक, हाँ करेक्ट, एंड वहाँ तक जाने में भी पेट्रोल
अरे
का
भाई,
जो होता है.
मैं
एग्जैक्टली.
सच बताऊं आपको,
जी सर.
जिस दिन आदमी की डेथ हो जाती है ना, उसी दिन वो रिस्क से निकल जाता है. बट उसका
उसी
फिर
दिन
पैसे का भी
वो हो
कोई
जाता
मतलब
है.
नहीं होता है.
वही
The
होता है.
other truth is also that, is it or not? The
वही है सर.
usage of money or till you are alive now, after death, the risk is also not there, and money has also got no meaning. So ultimately,
रिस्क का
life
नाम
is
है
all about risk management. This is what I was telling.
सर. दूसरा नाम ही रिस्क है. अब आप देख लो.
Yes. I have come across so many people. सर ऐसा प्रोडक्ट बताओ जिसमें कोई रिस्क ही ना हो. मैं बोला भैया, आपकी जिंदगी बगैर रिस्क के नहीं है. बोला क्या बातें कर रहे हो यार. मैं बोला बिल्कुल. मैं बोला the air which you are breathing, tell me, is it pure or impure? Particularly in India. The food which you are eating. What is the level of contamination?
करेक्ट
All
सर.
of us know it today. तो यार भूल जाओ यार. The risk is there. The only thing is, please, to know the risk, its impact, particularly the adverse, and how to manage that. So let's talk of the investment risk. Which is the biggest enemy of money? Enemy.
Inflation.
Yes, inflation is the biggest enemy of money, and investment is all about money management, my dear. So that's why I said how I look safety, that's very critically important. So inflation, all of us know what it is. The cost of prices will go up. Why? For the very simple reason, people want better life, better lifestyle, aspiration. Badhega. All of you go and ask your father, what was the first salary of your Dadaji? Ask him. Any guess? What would have been? Any guess? Blind guess.
1,000 to
Five
500.
rupees.
अरे 1000 भी बहुत ज्यादा था फरहान प्लीज.
55.
1000 भी बहुत ज्यादा था. I started my job with UTI. My first salary was 8000. मेरे फादर ने स्टार्ट किया था. I think his salary was somewhere about, as a professor in a college, his salary was, I think, 200 rupees. तो दादाजी के टाइम में तो पता नहीं कितना रहा होगा. आई डोंट नो. 200 रुपया भाई. बताओ क्या लगता है सुनकर. So you know the answer. I mean, these are all. No, that's why I'm saying this everything before you. I mean, nothing is hidden. The only thing is you should understand very wisely. So the biggest enemy of money is inflation. Why? Because it erodes the purchasing power of money. अच्छा, आप लोग सबके पर्स में पैसे हैं. 10 rupees note, 20 rupee note, 50 rupee note, 100 rupee note, 200 rupees note, and 500 rupees note. Do you value all the 5, 6 notes equally? Why? यार सभी पे गांधी जी के फोटो है भाई.
सर
Purchasing.
Now you say
डिनोमिनेशन तो अलग अलग है.
you value 500 rupees more. Why? Because it has got a more purchasing power. देखो हम लोग प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, हम लोग ये सब छोटे छोटे एग्जांपल से सब चीज समझते हैं, बट द मोमेंट व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट इन्वेस्टमेंट तो पीपल आई डू नॉट नो, आई डोंट नो हाउ दे इंटरप्रेट इन्फ्लेशन. So this note which you are having, 5-6 note, you value most the 500 rupees, but it has got more purchasing power. Now, if it has got more purchasing power, please all of you pay attention to me. And life, throughout we are consumer. All consumption need is meant by money only. So which is your best friend in this material world? अरे
रिस्क
मटेरियल वर्ड बोला मैंने.
रिस्क सर.
मनी. मनी है माय डियर, मनी. सो अगर इन्फ्लेशन, ध्यान दीजिए, योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड इन मटेरियल वर्ल्ड इज मनी, एंड द most deadly enemy of your best friend is inflation. So what you should be doing? Should you be protecting your best friend from this deadly enemy or not? Give me the answer. Very simple.
Yes, sir, very much so.
Yes, sir.
तो बस सिंपल सी बात है, इन्फ्लेशन रिस्क. बट हाउ मेनी पीपल अंडरस्टैंड दिस? नहीं समझते. उनको सिर्फ जब टमाटर का दाम बढ़ जाता है ना, और प्याज का दाम बढ़ जाता है, तभी समझ में आता है, बस ऐसे नहीं समझ में आता है. बिकॉज so inflation risk is the biggest risk, where the purchasing power of money is getting eroded. Now what happens whenever you are investing? Please all of you pay attention. You are going to get some return, which is called nominal return. Let's say बैंक FD में आपने इन्वेस्ट किया, आपको 6%, 7% मिल रहा है. Say wherever you are investing, you are getting some nominal return. But you also know inflation is eroding some part of that return. So ultimately, nominal return is not something where that should matter to the investor. What should matter to him is the real rate of return. And the real rate of return is nominal minus inflation. Is it clear? ये क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए. इन्फ्लेशन के बारे में एक और भी चीज आपको बता दूं. Longer the period, the impact of inflation is more. That means the erosion of purchasing power of money is more longer the period. There are some products which will always continue to give you positive rate of return whenever you are going to go for it. But not necessarily you will get a positive real rate of return. You might get negative also. So what should matter to you? Not nominal, but a positive real rate of return. So whenever you are looking at it, in the risk list you have to look at it. So जब client को आपको guide भी करना है तो ये ध्यान देना है आपको. He should end up getting a positive real rate of return. Notional return, nominal return has got no meaning. Is it clear? बैंक ने बोला आपको 6% in the year beginning. After a year when you went back to bank, 100 rupees, you got 106. 100 was your money only. 6 was the gain. But then you came to know, based on inflation, the purchasing power of 100 has now become equivalent to 105. So, कितना मिला फिर आपको? 6 रुपया या 1 रुपया?
1 rupee, sir.
Right?
1 rupee.
And many people think nominal return as a real rate of return. So that's again a myth. So that is one liquidity risk. Because you are investing, you want money. Illiquidity should not be there. We have already talked about so many products. So illiquidity also, liquidity risk has to do, please all of you pay attention, type of asset. Real estate is highly illiquid. We have talked about it. It also has to do with the state of market and economy. For example, let's say if you have been, even in equity is the best asset. Please mind my word, in long term. But if it is in a bearish phase, recessionary trend, and if you have invested in a micro cap stocks or junk stock, what is going to happen? Vatsal? You know the answer. Same thing on the debt side also. So ये सारे चीज आपको समझना पड़ेगा. Liquidity risk has to do with the state of the market, economy, type of asset, security, what time it has come. Okay? So it will vary at times. That's why anything which you require immediate to short term, should it be having a liquidity risk? Anything which you require maybe after one day, maybe after 5 days, maybe after 1 month. Should it be having a liquidity risk? Absolutely not. Is it clear? वरना फिर आपका कोई फायदा ही नहीं है. बहुत लोग गलती करते हैं. Credit risk of default. So this is for debt. And already I've told you it has to do more with the quality. So not all debts are equally safe. Debt as an asset is safe. Why? Because cash flow is known. बट अगर सामने वाला पैसा ही नहीं देगा तो कैश फ्लो कहां से आएगा? भाग गया अगर नीरव मोदी, मेहुल चोकसी, विजय माल्या, so that was cash flow was only on the paper only. Is it or not? So credit risk is what? Delay or default in payment, which is could be interest delay. It could be because of any reason. Maybe the business has not done well, stability or profitability, or even the bad intention of the promoter also. That's why rating analysis is very important. Always one should invest money in a better rated paper. Market risk, price risk. Volatility will happen. In short term, it is much more. Now, this also can come from any factor. It can come from geopolitical factor also, international issues also, maybe government policies also. It could come from any factor, please. Volatility is something which is a part of the any market, any economy, because it can come from any market specific, industry specific, company specific. So what the best thing is to do? Looking at the liquidity risk when I want, it should not be looking at the safety. Please, all of you pay attention. There should not be loss. I should be diversifying across security. Understanding the security risk. Diversification. Is it clear? So which is the best asset in short term? Immediate to short term? Give me the answer. Best.
Equity.
Debt, equity, real estate, gold. Which one is the best in short term?
Equity.
I just not told you our equity is the riskiest. आप उल्टा बोल रहे हो यार. Debt है भाई मेरे, debt है. Of course debt है. I mean no doubt about it.
Short term.
Again I'm repeating. Investment is all about risk management. Please. गलती करोगे तो फिर वही सीधी सी बात है. फिर तो भुगतान करना ही पड़ेगा. Then there is no way. And understanding the risk is also not so difficult. I'm explaining you in very simple words. Because these things will happen. And volatility is more in equity. That may be here, but come. Within that also, you've got different type of debt securities. So again, anything which I want in long term, then of course it has to be. That's why diversification is important. Basically, I'm diversifying because I don't want to get impacted by the negative impact of the security or asset. Is it clear? Negative. So I do diversification because whenever I want positive. कभी नुकसान नहीं चाहिए. I want positive only growth. Interest rate risk. Now, interest rate risk is what? Look, please, all of you pay attention. This is a very important thing for each one of you to understand. Everybody is there or not? First, let me check. Because ये सारी चीजें आपको किताब में मिलेंगी नहीं आराम से. Many people have closed their camera. Later on, if you are going to ask me, I will note that you have not opened your camera. Vineet, Prince, Ayushi, Sandeep, all of you have closed your camera. Chalo. Please, all of you pay attention. Interest rate risk. Now, RBI is our central bank. All of us know it. Bank to government, prints money, all those things. So RBI is somebody who's looking after the financial aspect of the country. RBI has got two targets. One, to tame the inflation. And the second one is to augment the growth. Is it clear? One is managing the inflation and the other one is supplementing the growth. Growth कैसे होता है? In the economy, which is the term?
GDP increase.
GDP. GDP is So all of you know what is GDP. Now that's RBI का दोनों job है, दोनों है. Now many times both are contradictory also. Inflation के अंदर RBI has been given a target to keep the inflation between 2 to 6%. 6 is on the higher side, 2 is on the lower side. So the moment let's say 4 is the average. So जैसे ही 6 के नजदीक पहुंचता है, then RBI becomes cautious and RBI tries to take some policy measures. Same thing is when it goes to 2. And what are the policy measures? Policy rates are changed, either increased or decreased. CRR. What is the full form of CRR?
Cash reserve ratio.
Cash reserve.
CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate, liquidity adjustment. So these are some of the policy measures which RBI does. So basically, RBI changes the policy rates because the RBI job is to see that once both balance रखना है. Please all of you pay attention. Within the financial system, there should be enough liquidity also so that it supports the growth, as well as the inflation also has to be tamed. But as I told you many times, what happens, because more liquidity should be within the financial system, growth बढ़ता है तो inflation भी बढ़ जाता है. So at times it is a very contradictory situation for RBI. Then what RBI does? RBI sucks the liquidity, excess liquidity from the system by increasing the policy rate. So RBI has to do a balancing act between these two things. Counterbalance करना जरूरी होता है. But important point is short-term trend versus long-term trend. Now inflation is a short-term thing. Is it clear? आप देखते रहते होगे inflation कभी घटता है कभी बढ़ता है. We must have seen it, ना? So many factors are there which is impacting. So inflation keeps on increasing, decreasing. So that's short term. So RBI job in short term is to control the inflation or to keep the inflation between 2 to 6%. Whereas the long term is to augment the growth. So what will happen again from the interest rate point of view? In short term, interest rate will be fluctuating. Is it clear? Is it clear? कभी बढ़े घटेगा कभी बढ़ेगा आप लोग देखते हो होता भी होगा. But what is the long term trend? Interest rate. Is it increasing or decreasing?
Currently increasing trend में.
Long term.
Long term में increasing.
नहीं वत्सल, it is decreasing, my dear.
Inflation.
आप देख लो पीपीएफ रेट किया था 80s में 90s में. You look at what is the NSE rate. Look at the bank FD rate. It is decreasing. Long term. I'm using the word long term, not short term. Short term में ऊपर नीचे होगा. But long term trend is. देखो ध्यान रखो. Please all of you pay attention. Short term में everything is fluctuating. Both equity and debt. Is it clear? Fluctuation is more in equity as compared to debt. Debt में कम होता है. Equity में ज्यादा होता है. That's why equity is more risky. Debt is less risky. But when you look at the trend of long term and short term within debt and equity, you'll find it is increasing. Growth of money. Whereas in debt, it is decreasing. Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Long term trend in an interest rate is decreasing.
मुझे लगा आप इन्फ्लेशन की बात करते हैं.
नहीं नहीं वो तो शॉर्ट टर्म है बक्सल. वो शॉर्ट टर्म में तो रहेगा ही. शॉर्ट टर्म मैंने बोला ना शॉर्ट टर्म में तो रहेगा ही. शॉर्ट टर्म तो फ्लक्चुएटिंग है वो मैंने पहले ही बता दिया आपको. वो होता रहता है. तो अभी तभी मैंने बोला ना आरबीआई हैज गॉट बोथ द टारगेट्स एंड समटाइम्स इट इज कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी आल्सो. some too much growth leads to inflation, then they have to again वो करता रहेगा आरबीआई. That's why RBI every second must they sit and review the situation. That's why they do it because they have to counterbalance both the things. दोनों चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है. Controlling the inflation also as well as growth is also important for any economy. So, but this we need to understand the trend first. That's the thing. But whenever there will be change in the interest rate, the price of a bond, which is the market price of the bond, will change. And it will change in the same direction or opposite direction. If interest rate increases, the price of a bond will decrease. Is it clear? If interest rate decreases, the price of a bond will increase. So change in price happens in opposite direction with the change of interest rate. That's first part. Let's say if the interest rate has increased, the price of a bond has decreased. But there also you will find bond of different maturity. Longer maturity bond, the price change will be more compared to shorter maturity in either direction. Longer maturity bond price will be more, change in price will be more compared to the shorter maturity. So which one is more risky, long maturity bond or short maturity bond?
long because
Long
में ज़्यादा
maturity bond. Of course, long maturity. आपका है. So you have understood the risk part? Any question? So basically these are the 5 major risks which impacts any investment. Once we know it, yeah, Vatsal.
You've talked about interest rate linkages with the price of the bond, but will we also discuss ki what will be the yield, like the effect on the yield?
Yield interest rate moves in the same direction.
So okay.
Same direction. So yield is nothing. Yield is Vatsal, yield is nothing, but yield is a total return on the bond. That's all. Yield ke andar you take both the component, the coupon rate, coupon income also, as well as the price change. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any other question?
Sir, in simple words, we don't put our money in the debt for the long term, na?
किसने बोला? चेहरा दिखाओ यार, बगैर चेहरा देखे मुझे बात नहीं करने में नहीं. फरहान.
Sir,
Yes.
yes.
बस आपने बता दिया आंसर. Yes.
Sir, so we have to convert that money into equity or the other debt after short term. Because
हाँ, जब आपने पहले ही बोल दिया कि लॉन्ग टर्म में डेट सही नहीं है तो फिर नेचुरली विच इज द बेस्ट एसेट इन लॉन्ग टर्म?
Okay.
विच इज द बेस्ट एसेट? इक्विटी है बॉस.
Equity.
देखो द रूल, देखो फरहान, द रूल ऑफ द गेम इज वेरी सिंपल. Whenever I'm investing, I should be taking the least of the risk for the best of the return. चाहो तो लिख लो. Least of the risk for the best of the return. So in short term, of course, least of the risk is called debt. Best of the return, why? Because cash flow is low, variability is less, fluctuation is less. I have not quantified it. ध्यान देना. I have not quantified it. And when I'm saying best of the return, again, what did I say? Comparative way में. That's why if I go one slide backward. Sorry, कहाँ था? Sorry, I think I missed it. Diversification, we had talked about it. ठीक है? Sorry, where we had said about it. Sorry, चलो आगे next slide में. Sorry. ठीक है? Farhan, got the answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure. Debt is meant for short term, equity is meant for long term. That's very clear. As we are going to go ahead, we are going to simplify it further. Don't worry. First, we should know the risk which is impacting the return or the performance of the asset or investment where I've done it. Now let's look at the risk measures and management strategies. Now again, we have got people. कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो यार अवॉइड करो. Is it or not? The best way to not take risk is by not investing. Or invest in the safest of the product, bank FD. Avoid it. Look at the best way to where the money is safest. Let me ask you. घर में आपके. But
फिर
there also there is a risk or not?
तो घर में तो नहीं
risk
है
of inflation.
Risk of inflation, risk of theft. अरे यार कितने बोल दूं? फिर अगर कल को EDCBI का रेट हो गया तो वो अलग एक रिस्क है. अरे वो भी तो रिस्क है माय डियर.
तो बैंक से
कहाँ
ज्यादा
भाग सकते हो
safe
यार इससे?
Open 7 and 8 accounts and put 5 lakh on each account.
This can be done. This can be done.
But then again, matlab, by not investing, you're not avoiding this. This is what I'm trying to say. I mean, there are some people who think that way. Or even if they invest, they go for the safest of the thing. The other one is, ज़्यादा ही smart है. They start anticipating things. Oh, अभी bullish trend होगा, अभी bearish trend होगा, अभी interest rate बढ़ेगा, अभी घटेगा. That's another extreme. They start anticipating certain things. And what they do? They take a position according to that. You got another type of people. But what is the risk in that? The risk is how accurately, how correctly you are taken. If your call goes wrong, then you're going to lose money again. How? So that's another risk. The best way is to always diversify. So Farhan, diversification is the best way to manage risk.
Yes.
So when I'm saying diversification, what do? You know the asset.
Yeah.
Characteristic, performance, risk, how different risk impact with respect to time, economic condition, market condition, everything you know it. So the best way to diversify. Diversify means something in cash, something in debt, something in equity, something in gold. Why? So that whatever the situation may be, whenever I want money, I should be not having any loss. Is it clear? So
Yeah.
diversification across assets, investment option, all those things are very important. And for that, understanding risk is very important. What are the risks which you already talked about it? What will be its impact? And how I can manage that risk? So now let's look at some of the behavioral biases which you will find when you're going to handle certain of the clients. The first one is availability heuristic. They rely on the example or experience that comes to their mind immediately. For example, let's say you have just opened the TV and that person, somebody is sitting at NDTV Profit or CNBC is saying something about some company, let's say equity. अभी उसी वक्त कोई फरहान के पास आ जाएगा पूछने के भाई बताओ फरहान वेयर आई शुड बी इन्वेस्टिंग आई वांट टू इन्वेस्ट फरहान जी फट से वही बोल देंगे does it happen or not?
Yes, sir.
I mean that's because that is in the back of my mind suddenly that comes to my mind immediately I will tell. I mean no research, no fact finding, just so this is one type of bias. People follow it, whatever comes to your mind, example, experience. Confirmation bias. Now what happens? Already I have taken a decision to invest in XYZ. But somehow I'm quite confused whether to take that decision or not. So what I do? I ask 10 people. अरे बॉस यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ सही है ना इसमें गलत क्या होगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल विथ whom we confirm from the known circle maybe it could be friends it could be relatives colleagues वही होंगे ना अब सवाल ये उठता है कि आर दे एक्सपर्ट आजकल क्या हो गया व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी चालू हो गया है ऑल ऑफ यू नो इट ना और उसी में घुमाते रहते हैं हम लोग मतलब पता नहीं आई डोंट नो whether we are feeding ourselves with the right information or wrong information I don't know. और देखो कभी कभी क्या होता है ना 10 बात को आप एक बार सुनते चले जाओगे ना you will start believing that thing कि यही सही है. There's a human psychology, is it or not? So confirmation bias में the risk is with whom I am confirming, whether that person is expert about that subject matter. If he's not, then that's the first thing. The second thing is even if I am confirming with somebody, and let's say that person knows also, if that person says, no, you are wrong, my ego gets hurt. Are, how come he has told me that you're wrong? That's another problem, is it or not? And many people think, अरे यार क्यों भाई दुश्मनी क्यों ले क्यों आपस में लड़ाई झगड़ा करें इसके हमें हाँ मिला देते हैं. So even without keeping a second thought, that person will say, no, yes, boss, you're right, absolutely right. You have taken a right decision. But you are going in a wrong direction. So again, here also you have not even looked for it, whether whatever you're trying to confirm, whether it was correct or not. Familiarity bias. I've invested somewhere and it has given a very good result. Next time again I'm having money, where I'm going to invest? same product. Third time I'm going to have money. अच्छा result है, I'm going to invest same. That means what I'm doing? I'm not diversifying. I'm concentrating all my money at one place. I'm not even trying to look at it if there are better opportunities also or not. Herd mentality. Oh my God. पूरी दुनिया ये कर रही है. मैं भी कर लूं. अरे भाई, everybody is different on this earth. You people are 30 people in the batch. Is everybody same? चलो आपके घर में दो भाई हैं, दोनों एक जैसे हो? नहीं हो. Every individual is different from the other individual. The way of thinking, everything, even the risk profiling of the 2% is different. It's not the same. So how come I'm following just blindly what others are doing? Maybe somebody is investing because of XYZ reason. I'm investing for some other reason. So just following blindly, again, herd mentality, that's again a wrong thing. Doing what others are doing. Loss aversion. If you say to somebody, hey boss, there are chances of 50% gain and 50% loss, what will be the reaction? What will be the reaction? If you
National,
tell,
so he'll stay away.
The person will be might be in a dilemma कि यार करो invest या फिर नहीं.
नहीं वो तो
क्योंकि
ठीक है, तो
risk
dilemma
भी
हो
है
गया,
और
but
loss भी है.
ultimately he has to take a decision ना. हाँ या ना. dilemma तो कहीं ना कहीं तो तोड़ना पड़ेगा ना बॉस. You say boss, if you are going to invest, there is a 50% chance of loss, 50% chance of gain. Generally what happens?
He won't.
Most
He will not invest. Let me tell you. Because the moment we hear the word loss, we want to stay away from that. Now, this is the big problem with equity, let me tell you. Because equity में जैसे ही आप बोलोगे ना कि शॉर्ट टर्म में सर कोई भरोसा नहीं है, your money can go down also. That person is going to run away. And this happens because we do not make our client understand risk in full. Short term, of course, it will be there. But if you stay longer in a good quality, of course, you are going to get. But short term, yes, possibility is there. And that's why I said, never invest in equity, howsoever good it is, in short term. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Never, ever. Short term is all debt, not equity. Because short term, anything can happen. और बहुत बार होता भी यही है. Just because out of greed we invest in short term in equity because it was doing very well and we make losses. और फिर उसके बाद एक कहावत है, दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक फूक के पीता है. बल्कि छाछ पीता भी नहीं है, फूक फूक के क्या. I'll tell you, that's the reason why many people run away. And again, as I told you, you lost because of your behavior only, not because of the market. ये तो सबको पता है पहले से बॉस की market is like that only. This is not a secret. Everybody knows it. So loss aversion, again, people avoid loss the moment swing, but you need to tell them about the risk and how to become overconfidence. You have taken a decision and that proves to be correct. फिर क्या होता है? मगर दुनिया में मुझसे ज्यादा ज्ञानी कोई नहीं है. होता है ना? I mean, that's again, if I take a decision and if that turns to be correct, but one should always remember, knowledge is one thing, luck is something else. Is it clear? Knowledge is something, luck is something different. And many times, luck does not even favor to the most knowledgeable also. ये होगा. These are all part of life. Is it or not? All of you must have seen Virat Kohli. He was struggling for run in T20. Was he or not?
Yes, sir.
Perhaps the best batsman.
Indeed,
But he was
indeed,
struggling
sir.
for run. कभी कभी होता है बॉस. अच्छा बॉल आ गया, आप आउट हो गए. बेचारा David Miller, what happened to him? In normal days, it could have gone for 6. But what happened? सूर्या ने उसको कैचर पक लिया. So, I mean, these things will happen. But not always. Please एक बात को ध्यान दीजिएगा. So, over confidence, yes. Maybe sometimes you are lucky, or maybe in some you took correct decision, not necessarily. Overconfidence तो कभी नहीं होना चाहिए, never. Recency bias, impact of short term events. अभी देखिए हमारा जो दिमाग है is a natural hard disk. All of you know what is hard disk? All of you are having mobile phone, laptop. So what is the characteristic of hard disk? क्या characteristic है? What for is a hard disk?
Storage,
memory.
yeah.
Memory ना.
Hmm.
अब हमारा दिमाग भी है, वो natural hard disk है. Can you store unlimited thing here? चलो अभी पूछता हूं मैं. वत्सल,
Yes, sir.
5 जुलाई को दोपहर में क्या खाना खाए थे बताओ.
पता
बताओ.
नहीं
हैं?
पता नहीं सर.
नहीं बता सकते. Exactly. Because we can't remember everything, and particularly that is distant. अगर मैं पूछूं कल रात को क्या खाए थे तो आप बता दोगे. बट अगर मैं पूछूं 3 दिन पहले का तो शायद आप नहीं बता पाओगे इधर भी. So this is something which you need to understand. Our mind is a natural hard disk. You cannot store unlimited thing here. हाँ, बचपन की कुछ एक्सट्रीम बातें आपको याद होगी, बट हर बातें याद नहीं होगी. ये बात ध्यान रखना. So again, the human psychology works is we get impacted by the recent events. Is it clear to all of you? Recent events. If your recent event or recent experience is good, then you tend to take a decision based on that. If the recent experience or observation is bad, then also you take decision on that. Is it clear? So again, there is a recency bias. That means impact of some short-term things. And this is, we see always in a bear and bull market. Most of the money comes when? At the bottom of the market or at the peak of the market?
The peak of the market.
Peak of the market. उल्टा. क्योंकि ऐसा है, क्योंकि हम शॉर्ट टर्म गेन्स को देखते रहते हैं, तो वी गेट यूफोरिक एंड वी डू इट. So behavioral tests are done. So the important thing is to look at the suitability of the investors. Chali, so we'll break here. We'll take it from here tomorrow. It's already one. Any question? If anybody has got? Anybody has got any question? It's already one.
No, sir.
And please keep asking question wherever you want. If there is no question, should we call off a day?
So, yes, sir.
Any question by anybody?
I just want to know, while evaluating this, will we also learn how to quantify it in, in numerical terms?
नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट. फरहान आप बोल रहे हो, कौन बोल रहा है?
Vatsal,
बस
Vatsal,
आपने बोला see you, हैं?
Vatsal.
वत्सल. हाँ, why?
While we are kind of identifying a risk, to measure the risk, will we also quantify it?
Yes, my dear. Yes. We are going to talk about that. Don't worry.
Right, okay. वही जानना था. Okay.
अरे 30वें घंटा होते तक आप देखोगे सब कुछ क्रिस्टल क्लियर हो जाएगा. Provided you are attending and be attentive. Both things are very equally important. हाँ, अगर पिछला सीन मिस कर गए हो तो नहीं बता पाओगे कि मर्डर किसने किया था. So you have to be attentive. I mean, that's very, very important. But sir, don't worry. Everything will be crystal clear. अभी तो हम स्टार्ट हुए हैं, जस्ट गाड़ी शुरू हुई है अभी. Latter part of the when we are going to talk about 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, तब आप देखोगे we are going to cover most of the things. ठीक है? चलो. So we'll meet again tomorrow, 10 a.m. sharp. Please, all of you be at your seat, computer on by 10 a.m. because we are losing 5-10 minutes because of late arrival. So all of you be here by 10 sharp. Log in by 9:50 and by 10 camera should be on. Chalo, so we'll meet tomorrow. Thanks to all of you. Take care. God bless you.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.